there's no doubt about that AI has entered our work streams, and there is lot of advancement in last 3 years, how things have evolved, and they have evolved exponentially. Right now, like 3 years ago, you could not have imagined AI doing uh, coding, AI doing analysis, AI doing a lot of things which it is doing today, right? So the objective is this workshop is that where does this particular AI thing stand, and what is its future, and how do you leverage that in your work wherever you whatever you are doing, right? So we are going to tackle that particular thing. So the objective will be basically to what to learn, what to skip basically when AI is here, right? So the objective what we are going to cover in this session is, first of all, we'll be understanding the shift in AI jobs, like what is happening in AI job these days, right? Where AI stands today from an industry perspective, I would say. And once I'll also cover that what companies are actually looking for in candidates, because that is very important. Uh, AI is here, right? But guys, please mute yourself if you're not speaking, please. Otherwise, I'll have to remove or mute you. Okay. So now, then how to become an high impact employee in your organization, because that is what everyone is here for. Does not matter AI, cloud, whatever, right? You want to be an impactful person inside your company. So that is what we have to target. We'll be covering roadmaps for different type of roles like product managers, developers, data analysts, right? How do they leverage AI into their field, right? And then what to study, what to skip, and how to cut the noise that we see on YouTube, Instagram, and all those things, like how people speak about like random things every day, right? So and how do you stop chasing every new tool that comes? Like nowadays, if you see every other day a new tool will come, people will say this, people will say that, right? How to stop chasing the tools and how to build your right foundation so that you are not dependent on any tool. You are dependent on your skill, and which can take you anywhere. Okay. And one last thing I'm going to address is, should you spend time on learning coding? Okay. So that is what we are going to address. So now let's start it, right? Every morning we open, we see such kind of LinkedIn or YouTube post, right? That learn AI in 7 days, earn about $10, $10,000 a month. I replaced my entire team with AI. This one tool makes you unstoppable. You will earn this much money, and you are already too late if you haven't started this. Like these kind of, how many of you have seen this, or in Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube posts? So like this is, I think I think I'm assuming everyone would have seen, everyone would have gone through it. What it results is basically, guys, please, uh, yeah, okay. So what this brings is, it brings anxiety, it brings confusion, it brings a lot of FOMO among candidates, especially who have not started. That you see, like what like people, everything. So this is how technology moves, right? That even if people do not know, right, what they try to trigger is your FOMO, is your fear of missing out, right? That okay, you are not learning this, you are missing something big out, and the moment you see that, that FOMO builds inside you. And what happens with that? People will try to they use you for their views, they might want to sell some product, they might want to do something else, right? So we need to have a neutral understanding of what is happening exactly, right? So first of all, what we are going to study is AI really is shifting? So yes, it has impacted us a lot, right? If you see most startups investment out of that you see, they have seen tremendous growth. If you see like up to 75% 75% increase in total investments in AI products, AI startups recently. Most of the 50%, like even more than 50% of the investment that companies do are towards the AI feature. Every company is being pushed that okay, bring more AI features into our product so that we can sell them more, right? And this is that is going on in the market now. If you see recently how fast is actually AI moving, Cloud Code, which is a tool recently, it went from beta to market in 8 months. Like few months back, Cloud Code was not even it was not even launched. It launched few months back, and today it is driving innovation in everywhere. It has surpassed almost every AI tool that exists today, and every tool is now trying to catch up with Cloud Code in just 8 months of time. Anthropic, which is the owner of Cloud Code, basically their revenue increased by this month. Uh, Now today, in most of the major companies, 73% of the engineering teams they use AI coding tools daily. Like the idea of coding everything on your own is a past now, and I'm not telling this based on some hype. I'm myself a developer, and I've seen this thing happening. So that is it. Companies are drastically shifting towards from manual coding to automated coding, so that things can improve. Okay. Now I'm not sure about how many of you know about MCP servers. Earlier there was no MCP server. Now every product want that every product, every service, every team should have their own MCP server, should have their own agent, so that they can communicate with the in the AI ecosystem in the right way. So basically, we say that MCP is the new API for agents, right? So that is how things are working. But one thing is there, like we see all these growth happening. Like we can get all lot of better start. If you go internet is filled with such numbers, right? But what people are missing today, what nobody's talking about, is that when you're going for an interview, when you are going when you are in a company, let's say your promotion has to be decided, or for example you're giving an interview, what is that skill that interviewers are looking for? And the thing that in 73% scenario, what interviewers are looking for is your critical thinking, and it is not AI, right? And this is a very, very important thing to understand, that today what happens, a new tool launches, we run after it, understanding that let's learn this. I'll give you a very simple example of let's say Na10 was there. Na10 was launched few months back, and it really created vibe in the market that this is new, like everyone should learn Na10. People started rolling out courses on Na10, and you should learn connect and all those things. Like it will automatically create workflows, automatically create everything, and you should learn that. Now in today's date, NA10's value has gone significantly down because Cloud Code has taken over it. Today Cloud Code is over it. Tomorrow some other tool will take over it. I'm very sure about it. Right? This is a race which these big giants are like playing running in. So you also do not know that which tool shall I learn that will secure me forever. So the answer to that question is nothing. There's no tool that you learn that will secure you for, let's say, 5 years or 10 years. And that is something to keep in mind, that what system has become, we need to be very dynamic. And that is why the most important thing right now is critical thinking. That whenever I'll speak more about as I move further in the slides, but main thing is that, do you even understand how these systems work? Do you know when to use this system, how to use this system? Even if today, let's say, Cloud Code is there and tomorrow some other tool comes in, what are the learnings from the Cloud Code that you will take there? And you will not be just a basic developer, you'll be an advanced person using it, right? So that is what you need to focus on, and this is what we are going to focus on in this workshop. Okay. Now, but one more thing, like I'm going to give you the same comparison, that you might have seen interviews of like Nvidia CEO or these big company CEO. They say that coding will be replaced, analyst job will be replaced, right? They give such big statements, right? They will say, get everyone AI certificate, AI skills are number one priority, and all those things. But these are not the people who will be hiring you. These people are CEO. They only talk business, right? What you have to think is, when you go for an interview for your roles, right? What types of role are there, and what skills do you need to possess to be hired, right? The ground reality is that what people look for with you from your interviews is that, can this candidate actually think, or he's just another tool guy? Okay. Can, let's say, AI generates something for you, do you have the skills to evaluate? Very simple thing, AI generates code, right? Now if you give now everyone knows how to generate code. Just give a prompt and get a code. But are you smart enough out of those 10 people that you can figure out what is the drawback of that code? Can that be fixed? Is there a better way to write that code, right? So those skills have not died. So people might say that, yeah, AI has replaced coding. What AI has replaced is the static work of coding that used to be there, which I'll be talking about. But what AI cannot replace is, it's very simple, your critical thinking, your ability to look at something and tell whether something is right or wrong, or whether it needs to be improved or not. So if you are engineer, or if you are an analyst who has worked over your skills all those years learning SQL, Python, and all those things, and you're scared that my I lose my job, that is not the right that is not the right thought. But yes, there is something that is existing in market. We need to learn how to tweak our skills, how to tweak what how the way we are doing things, so that we become more productive. Okay, the winning combination, as I mentioned, it is not AI, just AI. It is your domain expertise, especially for people who are data analysts, product managers. For them, domain expertise is a must. Like that is your how you can be better than someone is just your domain. Like let's say talk about a very simple thing. Let's say you are a credit risk analyst, right? Now you need to know the core functionality of how a banking operates, how a credit loan operates, what are various segments where like how things flow, right? And similarly, different kind of analysts which are there. So this domain expertise is a must. Your critical thinking that comes with your domain expertise and how intelligently you think, right? And of course, AI fluency. What AI does is that it helps you speed up the work. The task that you used to take 15 days can be done in 5 hours right now. Okay, so that is what it is going to be now. Just now moving to the eras of AI, that how AI has shifted over these years. If you remember in 2023, when we started, when ChatGPT came, we just had this new tool that arrived in market. Everyone was very crazy about it. Oh my God, this is something new. I just give it a prompt and it will give me text and I can chat. It can do a lot of things, right? That time, what happened? People predicted, okay, now prompt engineering is a thing. Everyone just started creating AI products where you can have different type of chatbots which will behave with you differently. People just used to like make use different system prompts in the backend and create different AI chatbots, and thinking that prompt engineering is the future, right? What happened 1 year later? By the end of 2024 or 25, everything moved, right? RAG came into picture, agents came into picture.
ಯಾವ್ದು ಪಾಪ ಇದು ಬೇಕಾ ಕಡಿಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ
Guys, please, I have to remove you. I'm
ಯಾವ್ದು
sorry.
ಬೇಕಾ ಸರಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಜೇ ಯಾವ್ದು
Okay, I'm sorry for this. Okay, so now what happened 25, we got this RAG, we got agents. Now we are not just chatting, we are using AI. It can do work, it can write email, it can automatically send emails for you, it can do analysis for you, a lot of things. By concept of vibe coding came, that you give it a prompt, it will build code for you, right? So now what people just started, so it triggered a new kind of technology for us, that okay, we are not just chat is using AI as a chatbot, we are using AI as a worker function which can do work for us. And today's cut come to 2026 February, March, today's date, right? Now AI is something, it can like build softwares end to end, scalable. So like earlier it was writing code, now it can write whole softwares, it can create whole data pipelines for you, it can write the whole analysis for you, right? So and automatically it can be, agents have become self aware, self improving, that they will learn from their mistakes, they will improve on their own, right? And so this is where we are existing now. In just 3 years, we have shifted from a chatbot version to a system which can like build ship you entire software end to end. So the point comes that what do we do? Like what now? This trend is not good. If you are thinking that this is the end, now this is the maximum of AI, no, that is totally wrong. I can take a bet on this. 2 years down the line, you will see these things even flowing even next level. Even I cannot predict right now what it will be, right? So again, this is not to scare you, this is just to tell you that we are in an era which is changing very drastically, which is changing every day. And whether you call it you are lucky or unlucky, we need to be aware. Like earlier it was that okay, you just learned one particular skill, maybe SQL or Excel, and you could survive in your job for 10 years, right? That is not the thing. Today every day new thing is coming. I'm not saying you need to learn everything, but you should have a decision about it, whether to take it, whether not to take it, or if I have to explore it, how to go about it. Okay, so this is something which we are going to discuss now. One question I want to ask from you guys, that forget AI for a moment. Tell me that in your company, when I talk about that, who is who is the most valuable person you think in a company, when you work in a team, when you work even alone, or when work with your friends? What Which person do you consider most valuable? What do you think? I want to hear from few answers from you guys, that What skills in an employee makes him irreplaceable? What do you think?
I think my answer here is, if I can answer,
Yeah, please, you can
yeah.
answer.
So my answer is that people who understand enterprise strategy, who understand customer side, and then they have an overview of AI and where, what are those areas where AI can eventually create the most amount of impact and the least amount of cost, right?
Okay.
And and finally, I mean, why do we use AI? It's not because we have to use AI, we have to cut costs or whatever it is. It's basically how AI can eventually help you create your own moat, your unique competitive advantage, which is so
Okay.
disruptive, which your competitors or the markets will not be able to comprehend. I think that is the real genius
But
of the
that you are still talking about AI, right? That you're still talking
yeah,
about a
yeah.
person.
I
I'm
yeah,
talking
I
about.
won't.
Uh, yeah, please, just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Like, I'm asking about forget AI for a moment. Just let's not think about AI. Tell me, if there's a team. Let's say you're working in a team of 15. Okay, you have juniors, seniors, managers, and more leaders,
Mm,
right? Out of those,
mm.
which person do you forget about their roles and titles, right? Which person do you consider most effective or most like irreplaceable? Forget about AI for a while.
The,
Two
the guy
things.
who
One
understands
person.
strategy.
Let's go one by one, please. Yeah.
Yeah,
The guy,
the guy who understands strategy.
Okay. Anyone? Any other answer?
the guy who is technically sound and a good problem solver.
Okay.
I am thinking the
And
person who learns and the person who can generate ideas.
okay.
I think, according to me, the person who can uh, analyze the gap of the, like, basically understand what is the problem we are trying to solve, and then apply AI or any other technique to solve it.
Okay. Okay.
I think the person that can communicate effectively.
Okay.
So
Okay. Got it.
survivability skills are more important than debugging kind of thing. I think that serves.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, all of you answered correctly. If I have to sum it up in one, what what if I say that a person who is very dynamic in the sense that he is adaptable, that as request comes, he's able to he might not know everything, but he knows how to get things done, right? And for example, he might not be a very good coder, but he's when it comes to technical evaluation, that person will find bugs in your code, right? That person will find bugs in the strategy, that person will find no, something is missing, right? So he has what is the core trait is that the person has its own thinking of judging the systems. The person knows or has some experience in evaluating things, that okay, if we do this way, things might go this way. So he has a broader vision, right? So he's not just a follower to whom you will say, okay, do one thing, Satvik, this tool is new there, go learn. And Satvik will go tomorrow, learn new tool, and thinking that, oh, I learned this new tool, now I'm become irreplaceable. That is totally nonsense, because think like this: every company is using different tech stack. Today, I'll give you a very simple example. I used to do SaaS coding, right, in my early careers when I started. So SAS is basically, it's an analytics tool where you write down syntaxes for major analysis and all that, like SAS and are those tools. I used to think that I know SaaS, so I think I know everything, right? Now, when I moved to other teams, other companies, they didn't use SaaS, right? So what and I had to learn things like whatever tools they were using again and again, right? And similarly, when I moved from somewhere, learn something else. What I didn't focus early in career is understanding the concept that okay, whenever we do analysis, we look for these 10 types of analysis, irrespective of SQL, irrespective of SAS, irrespective of R or any other code. We have to always follow this type of strategy to arrive at a result, right? And as a junior, you are not able to visualize that thing. So in a company, I would say the person who is most irreplaceable is someone who has a better vision than others, who is not dependent on any tool, who can think critically, who can evaluate current systems, he can think new ideas, he can debug current systems, and he's basically, of course, he's a good communicator. Those things definitely come into the picture, and whatever he feels, he's able to communicate with leadership. But the core skill is that the person needs to be very dynamic, very adaptable, right? Earlier these things, uh, used to matter, but still we were like, okay, let that person take the lead. I will just do my work and I'll get away with it. But I'll be very honest that low level thinking basically is something AI is affecting the most. That you cannot just be like nowadays you cannot be just a person who just listens, who does things and just gets away with it, right? Because AI is these static type of things like coding, running SQL code, running analysis. AI is becoming very, very good at it, and you cannot compete with it. So what you have to eventually become good at is something called as critical thinking. Okay, so we'll come to it now. As I mentioned, that domain plus thinking plus AI. This is something you need to be good at. So, like, what example? Whatever you're working now, you have to, whether you are a product manager, whether you're a data analyst, whether you are a strategy builder, whether you're a developer, you definitely need to use AI tools. There is no debate about that. If you think that, let's say I talk about developer, he thinks that no, I know how to, I have learned coding all these years. I will write down code myself only because my I need to ensure I'm in control of code, right? Because I have want to write everything. That thought is incorrect, because if you will do that, 10 people will be, because today it just does not matter. You do not have to satisfy your ego. You have to see what company is looking for. Company wants to deliver, to ship products, ship features faster, right? And you do not want to lag behind. So you have to, even a developer has to evolve. Even if you know, doesn't matter, you have to use, like, companies have made it mandatory. I'm not sure, of course not in every company, but like, I can tell about where I'm working, what I see in my friends and all that. Companies have made it mandatory for developers to use uh, like all these coding tools or anything. And same for like other things, like I'll talk about product managers as well, that they have made it mandatory for product managers to be able to think, code using vibe coding, of course, right? And build something, get more ideas, those kind of things. So that is one thing that you need to use AI tool. There is no doubt about that. Now, second, but because you're using, you have to be the quality gate. Quality gate means this is the most important feature out. Like AI tools you might learn, but for this second thing, your experience comes in totally. Like whatever you have done all these years, where your learning will totally shift here. That you have to become a quality gate. AI, be it AI generating code, be it generating an analysis. Let's say you are doing you have some report you created through AI, right? You need to have the vision to see that report and come up with bugs, come up with an insights about it, because AI is good at predicting past what has already happened. But what if some new type of, let's say a new type of segmentation of customers is causing some new type of losses in your portfolio? AI cannot, AI, there's no guarantee that AI will be able to, AI might report numbers to you, but it might not catch that particular thing, right? So you have to become that quality gate. And this is where the, I would say, skills matter. If I have to rate of all these four, I will rate this second feature to be the most important, that how good evaluator you are of AI, that whatever output is coming out of it, are you able to control it or not? Okay. So, and third, of course, the bridge gap. The biggest bottleneck is that when you talk to leaders and when you talk to technical team, there is a big gap. A developer might be, I would say, a technical team might be intrigued in building more features, but if it is not giving you a business outcome, that totally makes no sense, right? So you have to be that person driving a business use case and a technical ownership. So you have to like bridge that gap very much effectively, I would say. And you have to learn. Now prompt engineering is just out of the system right now. Yes, we all prompt, but what you need to learn is system design. By system design, I do not mean everyone learns software engineering, but I want, there is some term called as AI literacy, which I'll be covering in the session. That these concepts, these terms, everyone should know. The level of the depth of that knowledge should be different for everyone, but all should know that, okay, what is this and how to use it. At least this much everyone should know. It does not matter, you are an analyst, you are a developer, you are an engineer, or whatever you are. Okay, so this is it right now. So, and any questions so far, anyone, please tell me.
Yeah, Satvik, I have a question. See, so
Yeah.
like you are telling about to use AI, and also like there are lot many engineers, senior engineers, and all. So how do we give the take the edge over that one, because they are already in the business and all, so they know better than that. And if you have to reach them, it will be like more than 6 months and they will be ahead of us. So how to catch up that race?
I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Okay. I have planned things for that. Just keep that question in mind. Okay.
I
Okay,
just wanted
I had a question.
one question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. One question is you were telling about um, how critical thinking is going to be important. Do you not
Yes.
foresee AI itself being able to do that sort of critical thinking on our behalf ever?
I'll give you a very
And
simple example. I'll give you a very simple example. Okay.
okay,
That, and I'll give you both from the perspective of a data analyst as well and a developer as well. Okay. Very
okay.
simple.
Mhm.
Let us say AI, you generate AI says that, okay, you have to build, you write down a code to create an agent which can read multiple data sources and deploy things for you. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, where you have created this, let's say the tech stack that AI has chosen, the strategy that in the code that it has chosen, the function that it has chosen, right? Now, is
Mhm.
that aligned as per your company standards? That is the first thing. Okay. Is for example, let's say you built an agent, right? It is unnecessarily doing lot of tool calls, lot of memory consumption it is doing. Okay. Do you even under, so agent will build for you? Think like this: if you treat it as a black box, you will never be able to control what is happening inside it. Okay. But if you know the systems inside it, that okay, this agent has these parameters which are configurable, I can increase its performance, let's say, by this strategy, that strategy, while deployment, I should not use GitHub action, I should use this, I should put this security feature in this package, I should put this deployment feature in this package, right? These things, AI will give you a solution. It will say that, yeah, yes, this is, but as per your company, what is the right standard? Earlier, whatever AI, the code that AI is given, that might have failed earlier for your company, right? So AI has given you a generic code, but is that valid for your company or not? Is that strategy good for you or not? That is something you need to evaluate, right? And now, today, when you open LinkedIn, people will post 100 things that, okay, start implementing this feature in your code base and it will make your development 50 times faster. But if to implement this, there is the cost of implementing this is 10 times higher, and that is not giving me any impactful result, then why should I have that particular feature in my code, right? This is called critical thinking, that you are not just accepting what AI is giving, you are questioning AI's output, and you are mapping whether it makes sense or not. Do I need to make some changes and all that? So it does not matter how powerful AI gets, you will always have to do this analysis. That is what I'm mentioning. Now let's speak about data analysts as well, right? A data
But
analyst, let's say, use an AI chatbot which generates charts, it gets you SQL queries and all that for you. What if in the back end, let's say the data schema is changing, the table relationships are not captured properly? What if there is a lot of legacy data in the back end, which AI is still not able to very good at in understanding, right? Your data modeling knowledge, it goes nowhere. Do you know that the better data modeling knowledge you have, better outputs you can get from AI? A very simple example: you're building an NL chatbot. If you know the data modeling in the backend, how it is structured, you can control what AI is giving. But if you just give AI that, oh, this is my data, read it and generate me this analysis, right? It will give you something, but you will, unless you think critically, you will never get to know quality. Can it be improved? Is it something worth doing? So that's what I mean by critical thinking. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
But nowadays, right?
one question, which is, when you were saying that, you know, there is a huge gap between business leaders and tech geeks, because I'm coming from the business background, right?
Yep.
How do you eventually arrive? Now, this question is a non-technical question actually. How do you arrive
No, no,
at
please
this
go ahead.
final nuance? Sorry.
Your voice is not clear.
Yeah, I'm saying,
Can
how do you arrive at this final nuance of that the developer or the coder has what he has portrayed as the refined quality gate product, which my
uh,
business eventually requires,
so
and he
just one
hasn't
thing.
tried enough.
Just one thing. Can you just key hold on this question for some more time? I have something to cover. After that, this question will make more sense. That's why I'm.
Sure, 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 sure.
But please do ask me in the session because this is a very good question. Okay, so which I would like to answer. Okay, so just let me finish a few things, then I'll take up your more questions. Okay, so now what eventually we need to understand now that how AI is changing. Now I've prepared this Excel for you. So I have mainly targeted four roles: developers. In that you get AI developers, data engineers, and everyone. Okay, you get product managers, you get data analysts, and you get data scientists, right? So I'll walk you through. Again, I'll share this Excel with you because I cannot show you each scenario in this session. But what I'm covering in this is like this particular sheet. What does it cover? That how AI is changing your day-to-day job, right? For especially for these four categories. So what this Excel covers, first is what is your actual task that you are doing. For example, let's say for developer, I talk about implementing a new API endpoint, or for a data analyst, it could be, let's say, uh, build a weekly report, or it could be a root cause investigation or some ad hoc request from a stakeholder. Okay, now second, micros and what this looks like if I just drill it down, what is it exactly? So how things used to happen before AI, and how those things happen with AI. Okay, what you still own. So we say that AI is automating work, right? But there is a part of the job that still you control and that you will control forever. Okay, then what separates you from, basically what separates these top 1% people from everyone, because everyone will use you at will start using AI tools. Now think like this: if 10 people are using same prompt in their AI tools, everyone's output is doing the same thing technically. So out of those 10 people, how do you pick the right person? Okay, so that is what we are going to discuss, that what separates top 1% people from everyone. Then I'll give you an example of what exact tool needs to be used. Then like what exactly, this is a very very important thing, that what will you be judged upon in interviews, or what your manager is going to judge up, or if you are a manager, on what parameters should you judge someone working under you, right, who is using AI. Okay, and of course, like which of these are more critical. So I have leveraged all the scenarios. For example, a data analyst generally works on ad hoc request, building weekly reports, RCA, data cleaning, then translating data to dashboard. Like these are the major tasks, like you can think of more. So let's look at few of those scenarios in more detail, and then we will come towards it. Okay, so what we're going to study a little bit now is how AI is changing your daily work. Okay, so I'll be covering all these things. First, I'll go with developers, then I will come to product manager, then I'll come to data analyst as well. Okay, so this is something you need to understand, that this is you at the top. Remember everything, that you have to control these things. So like you call it a master slave or whatever terminology I leave to you, but you have to be in control of these tools, ChatGPT, Cloud Code, or whatever you think, right? This is something, uh, it is something which is automating a repetitive task, right? Now think like this, that you are no more tied to writing codes for days. AI is doing for you. As I mentioned, you have to be the judge gate who has given a task. You have to be the orchestrator, I would say. In very simple words, you have to be the orchestrator if you have to be more efficient. Okay, now first let's talk about what is this for developers and engineers, right? So now earlier, like sprints used to happen in one sprint. You used to take one story, let's say build this feature, build fix this bug, and you do it. And it used to take you 2 weeks or whatever the sprint duration is. Nowadays you can build a feature like quickly, like in 1 hour, in 30 minutes, like using AI. Now uh, debugging the production, like if the code is there, debugging it used to take a lot of times, and writing unit test cases for coverage, like those things. Mainly developer, what does it do? It builds feature, he checks if things are working, if things are failing, he fixes it, or and he writes more tests so that system become more robust as you move forward. Okay, so now very simple thing, let's say building a new feature. A product manager says that, hey, I need to build this feature, something, I need to have this in system, add an endpoint, add an authentication system, and all these things. Okay, so earlier what used to happen, that before AI, like I would say, uh, the developer would read the spec, he would plan schema, he would write something that how this needs to be done, then write down each code file one by one. One day he will, like, in one setting he will write down one function, in second setting he will write down another function, and then let's say by the end of third day he will write down few files and then try to check them where all these are failing. So 2 to 3 is a very, like, generally it used to take 2 to 3 weeks as well, not only 2 to 3 days. Now all of these things can be done in 4 to 6 hours. It won't take more than that. And because of this, what you can do is you will be expected to ship faster. You'll be expected to write POCs very, very quickly. Like, I'll give a very simple example that last week only, when I was working, we were working on a product where an agent, basically it reads Jira ticket, it does the work, and it automatically creates a PR, and the PR agent which reviews it. Okay. Now, to do such kind of things, my manager just at my 9 a.m. stand up, he told me and said that, okay, Satvik, just give me a POC by 3 p.m. today in a meeting. I just had like 4 or 5 hours, right? And I think everyone is facing same thing. It's not only me. So we have to leverage now. What thing comes? So I break any feature development, any develop engineering work into two phases. One is the coding part, second is the architecture part, that how exactly the flow is going to happen. Let us say I have to build an authentication system. So for authentication system, this is like which format to select. Let's say I want to go with JWT. Now from where that should flow and how should it go, all that flow you need to have in your mind so that you can give it to prompt and you can evaluate based on that. That is this is a very big shift, that uh, you plan the work, you spend time, like you take 30 minutes, 1 hour or 2 hours in just planning the work. You can even take 3 hours in just planning that this is how my architecture should look like. Once this architecture is created, I will write down these tests that I should validate on these features, so that when AI generates code, and I get an output, I can test it on these and features, right? So that is how you are able to ensure that whatever AI is generating, is it correct or not? If it is failing, you have a deterministic way of capturing that, and that you can basically go with it, right? So what I mean to say, what you still own in a feature development is your architectural decision, whether you want to go with a REST API or a GraphQL, or any other format. That is something still lies to you. This is called critical thinking, that shall I use REST API, GraphQL? Because if you just go to Google, ChatGPT, it might give you a suggestion, but that might not be valid for your company or how your company's systems are there. Okay. Second, similarly, security integration, which kind of security feature are allowed in your company, what level of priority is this, like those kind of things. Similarly, API contract design and a lot of these things, which are still owned by humans only. Okay. So similarly, debugging a production issue as well, that okay, you can debug that this is what is missing, but you still have to write down that okay, if something is failing, I have to check whether it is, let's say a UI is failing, I have to ensure that whenever UI opens, the landing page comes, login section works, and like these tests, which should be present in my mind, which I can give to AI, that always test these things, then only proceed. Okay. So what you still own is system intuition, severity judgment, that how severe is that particular bug. Is it like very big one that I want to spend time, or it can, there's a way around to fix it, right? With your experience, that if you would have faced such scenario in the past, you would know that if such kind of bugs come, I should approach this way. If you totally blindly vibe code or blindly use AI for coding, what will happen? It might solve things for you, but your learning from that will be nothing. You will be just still remain a vibe coder who just gave a prompt, and AI just gave a result to you. Did you learn anything from that? No. So that is something that whenever you do such kind of things, always ensure after that session, you get out learning something. Okay. Or based on whatever parameters that you have set. Similarly, writing review tests, as I mentioned, this is basically about developers, that it is no more about just writing code. It is more about architecturing the decision of your whole engineering, and then using AI to leverage that. Any question on this part, anyone?
When we write test case, we used to write test cases. What After writing test cases, like based on the requirements, after all those test cases, we used to do a peer review. So if
Yes.
in AI, if we the AI is suppose generating the test case, we give a prompt that this is the feature and I want the possible negative, positive, and corner the edge case scenarios. It will give right test cases. But what about the peer review? How do we know that the written test cases are really covering everything? Whether it is a maximum coverage and nothing is left
So,
like.
so that is why. So that is what I'm saying, right? Depending on AI is not the right thing, right? AI will give you that these tests. Let's say it will give you that you should have these 50 unit tests, these 60 integration tests, and whatever it gives you. You should have the before actually asking AI to running those unit tests. You should have a peer review. You should have at least review by yourself whether it makes sense or not. Then only give to AI. Or if you should make amendments to that. That is what I'm saying.
But
That
yeah, but what is happening in reality now? Peer review, it takes in our this thing. It used to take a lot of time because there used to be a lot of test cases for each module also. And now they are actually putting, they will put pressure that now since AI is there, see test case writing ka kaam to like it has like you don't have to write test cases yourself. So just give me means in 2 hours or something review and karke sab kuch de
yes,
do. So
I
again
agree.
more tight
I
timeline.
agree. I agree. In my team also, testers are there. They are given a lot of pressure that okay, do this. So what needs to be done? First of all, this is what I'm saying. Let's say you are a tester. Okay. So how do you become more efficient then? If let's say if 10 testers are there, everyone is using AI for generating the test cases. Tell me how will you be better than others? What do you think? Anyone can answer this. Like how would you say that you can be you will beat the other? I'm not saying about beating, but how can you be better than nine others? Any thought? I mean, you can speak about it.
Means what I'm thinking is like suppose now suppose AI has given the prompt the test result it's given me like say 100 test cases, positive,
Yep.
negative, and edge cases. So for
Yep.
peer review what I'll do is I'll pick up
Okay.
some.
Let's say peer review is not possible because you have to deliver things faster. Let's say peer review is not there. Then what will you do? And this is what I'm coming to. So what skill now, what differentiate now, let's say there is a good tester and there's a tester who has just started doing things. A good tester, whenever he sees the unit test cases or whatever test cases are there, he will have a vision to understand that whether this test cases are right, whether this evaluation criteria is right or not, right or wrong, right? So in one look or in one scrolling, right, he should be able to figure out that is this covering everything. Do you agree with me or not? Okay, I'm taking that silence as no. So let me tell you in more detail. Let us say you have think like this, and it's very same. Writing code as well. Let's say you go and ask AI to generate code for any feature, right? Now, you should have the eyes to look to. Have you seen there are people who scan at the code once and they're able to find bugs very quickly, and there are people who will keep on looking at the code but they can still not find the bugs. Have you seen these people in companies?
Yes.
You have seen that, right?
Yes.
So the quality of the person looking at the code and getting I would say criticizing it and getting like the drawbacks in that becomes very very crucial because 10 people will be generating I'll tell you very simple. In my team there's a guy that we all use AI to generate code, but all our PR reviews goes to that person, and without his approval we cannot proceed, right? And that guy has a next level eyes that he catches bugs like his only work is just to review PR, and he catches them like so efficiently that you can't even like I'm totally blown away that like how good is his coding skills. And he's a 16-year experienced guy, like he's way experienced than us. So he leverages all his learning of coding that he has done into that. And he's still like I would say he's more more crucial to our team than an AI tool, because he's a good quality gate that if I give something to him and he gives the feedback, we all trust him that yeah, this makes sense. And like there'll be so many, like in almost every AI code he'll find out some bugs that okay, this is good, but I think we should have done it this way. That would have been more robust with the company's approach, like something like that he always comes out with. So that is what I'm saying, test scenario as well. AI is generating test cases. Let's say you created a function, you created a data pipeline, and you created test features for that, right? You do not have to blindly trust that whatever features have arrived. You have to read them, and you have to build that intuition that does that make sense or not, can I add more things, right? So you can either use, if you're still not understanding, you can ask a, like, take those test case, ask AI to again reflect on those and see if more can be generated, right? So that you are in control. That's why I'm saying that you give a prompt to AI to generate unit test cases, it will generate. Before executing them, please make sure you have reviewed them, you have your own analysis ready, then only press the next button. Do you get my point? And that is where you should improve your skills, be it learning coding, be it understanding a product in more detail. And that is something a role of developer or QA tester becomes very, very important. So people say that coding jobs will go away, QA tester jobs will go away. That is totally crap. That is totally bullshit. It is not going anywhere. People who have the eyes to catch on things, they are and this is a skill that can be developed. This is not something that okay, there someone has, I do not have. This is something you can develop by doing things hands on, by not relying on AI completely for everything. So that is what I do as well. I mean, I'm not good at 100 things, but I know that before passing anything, these are the checks that I need to ensure that it is passing. Did I answer the question? Any other question on this? Anyone?
Yes.
No, I didn't get. Do you have a question, or shall I move ahead?
You can
Move
move it.
on. Move on.
Yep.
Okay. If anyone has a question, I'll stay. We'll do in the Q round as well. More questions I will take in. But my whole purpose to say for developers is that do yes, coding part is getting automated, and very sure by end of this year, coding will be totally automated. I won't be surprised. It is already automated. So so engineering or let's say a QA person is not about coding. Coding is just one aspect of it, but controlling that coding, that is something that should always be with you, and that is something you should always be, because it does not matter how many AI tools come, companies will never trust AI tools so blindly that they will ship like AI generated codes directly to production without reviews. So that is something you need to be good at, I would say. Okay. Now, coming to the next type of roles, that is product managers and business analysts. Now, these are the people who do not need to be coders. But, but I'm coming to one thing. The expectation from product managers has increased drastically. Okay. Now product managers, like earlier, so can someone tell me what is the general task of a product manager? What things a PM generally does in a company?
He's talked with the business, right? And he knows the product, right? What we can do, and he come to the.
What do you mean by he knows the product? Can you give me an example?
Suppose we build it. Suppose company is having some product which is used by the client, right? And the client want to add some new features and all that. So he's a bridge between the developer and the business, right?
Yes. Right. Okay. So the product manager basically, or business analyst, these people are the bridge between actual business team and the technical. Now technical team, what happens? They go too much technically, right? Sometimes and that they do not understand the product vision, and they are like, okay, they treat everything as same engineering problem, and they suffer from this problem of over engineering things, right? That is there. And the business people problem is that they think that just that because they thought it, that can be built that easily. I'm not saying anyone is wrong, it is just these two people are wearing different hats. A business person does not think the complications of developing such a feature. He just thinks about, okay, if we build this might bring me these customers, this might help me beat this product, right? He's wearing a different hat, and a developer is wearing a different hat, and a product manager is someone who needs to be the bridge of these. Now earlier what used to happen, that a product manager, even if he didn't know technical knowledge, and if he's just very good enough to take the product requirements, convert to stories or whatever PRD documents is there, it used to be fine. But now product managers are requested, are expected to know technical things as well. I'm not saying they're expected to know coding, but they are expected to know. Very simple example, let's say you're building an AI feature, that you're building an agentic application which does this. Now they need to understand that, okay, what is a multi-agent, what is an orchestration, what will happen if we add an MCP to this rather than using a simple tool call, right? What is a latency? These are the terms that like PM needs to know. Earlier that he might used to be, might not to be used to, I don't know. So the PM role has shifted from a feature factory clerk that who will just get features from business team and just dump on the developers that build this. Now he is a decision scientist, I would say, that he has to decide that technically and strategically does this make sense or not, and which side to push more, whether to push engineering side more, or shall to convince the product side more, right? That is something the role of PM is. Now earlier what happened used to happen, a very simple thing I'll say, if a product manager used to come up with an idea that can we do it this way, because he didn't know coding, he could not write a code, he could not write a feature, he could not like, let's say, create a website or a software on its own. Today with cloud code or any of these tools, the vision of product managers is has increased like drastically. Think like this, in a business meeting, let's say sitting, someone thought that, okay, can we come up, can we build something, or a product manager thinking that, okay, I want to build a feature that does this. He should be able to use cloud code or any tool, I would say, right? They should know that this is our code base. If I give this prompt, it should be able to generate that feature in my UI and automatically test it, and so that he can tell developers that, okay, this is what I'm visioning, right? And this is a very, very impactful thing that in my company as well, that we have given I would say cloud code access separate, especially to product managers, that they take Jira story, they take product vision, and they should be able to uh, develop something on your own just by vibe coding. They're not expected to learn coding, but just by vibe coding, can they build features? Can they come up with ideas which they can explain to people? Okay, so it is not just more PPT. It is that they are expected to show on the current code base that what all things can you build. Okay, so now coming a very simple thing, a PM earlier what he used to do, he had to analyze something, you have to read multiple sources, multiple data points, and all those things. Now all those things are gone, right? Like earlier people used to go through Excel, PDF, report, do SQL, and all those things. Right now, now they don't need to do all that, right? You can use AI tool to do all this thing for you. Now you need to be the person, the pivot who can take all this and basically do the analysis. So what they still own is reading between the lines, strategic prioritization, and business context. This is something PM still own, I would say. Now, as I mentioned, prototyping without engineering, that they should be able to prototype something without going to a developer and come up with that, hey, you are saying this, but I think this can be done this way. So this is something, rapid prototyping is something very, 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 very important, I would say. Okay, so the earlier it was just Jira tickets. Now take Jira ticket, build working demos, prototype. So earlier it was just the first part. Now the scope of PMs has increased to this level that they're expected to know these things in interview. That when you will go to an interview, people will, I mean, I can speak more about AI product interviews because I mean, I have given them, my friends have given them. So based on their feedback, that what are asked from them, what is asked from them is that, okay, I'll give you a very simple example that that we want to build an agent. Which framework shall we use? Shall we go with a model agnostic framework? Shall we go with some other framework, right? And this is something PM should be are expected to know now, I would say. So this particular and because of cloud code or whatever tool you say, yeah, you can, even if you don't have that knowledge, you can get it if you have the, if you know how to prompt, if you know how to get those decision points and how to answer it, I would say. Okay, and again representative leadership, like so this is the difference, I would say. Earlier it was just PM communicating things from developer to leadership. Now it's about PM owning things as well, he should have technical knowledge, he should have more business context, and he should have some hands-on experience of doing things. This is what is expected from the today's in the industry's perspective, I would say. Okay. Now moving next to any question on the PM side, anyone? Okay. And don't worry, I'll share this Excel with you that I showed you. You can read all the scenarios. Okay. Now this comes now coming to data analyst, right? Now very very important thing. A very common thing is getting ad hoc requests from your stakeholder that what happened. Let's say you say that I need revenue by region, product, and this for 6 months split by this. Okay. Now earlier what used to happen whenever you used to get a request, uh, you used to spend to like think, take time, write SQL query, test it, write big CTEs, combine them, do multiple join operations, and like do lot of things, right? And then you used to move towards analysis. Now because of AI, you can have. I'm not saying that trust AI completely, but if you have a good data modeling language knowledge, now this is very very important that your expectation will be shifted from writing a good SQL query to knowing data models correctly, so that you can prompt AI correctly that this is how my data model look like. These are the tables, these are the primary key, this is how things are populated in it, and you need to generate query for this. How do you prompt it better, right? So that is something you are
You are
expected to know.
wasting your own time. पता है आपको?
Sorry. Can you please mute yourself if you're not speaking?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So, main thing for data analysis is that I agree that in interviews people will ask SQL questions. I'm not saying that don't learn SQL, but don't be a person who just knows SQL. Just because you're given a complex case and you can write SQL queries, don't be that person. Be a person who understand data model very well, who understand data drift very well, who understand the core of data very well, because those people are irreplaceable, I would say. Okay. So that is the first thing, that the things that used to take time, you can, of course, with AI you can reduce the time, but do you understand them well? That also matters. Like you can simply write on a in AI it can generate hundreds of report for you, but whether that generated output is correct or not, whether that generated SQL is correct or not, right, you still do not know. So you should have an eye right before, as someone mentioned, AI can give you SQL code, but do you have the eyes to look at the SQL code and make sure yes this is right or not? So that is because, see, someone will send you an ad hoc request. They do not care what you are doing in the backend. They just expect that whatever result you are giving should be correct, right? So if you're using AI, you should also have the eyes to validate your result. And this is where shift is happening. That, as I mentioned, just if you think just because I know SQL I'll be irreplaceable, you're totally wrong. Maybe you're living like 3 years back. Today's world, you should leverage AI, but you should also have the eyes about data modeling and like those things. Okay. So now, like how you can, I mean, automating tasks, and all those things with root cause investigation. So there are two ways of prompting. Let's say you are stuck with a scenario. Now you just prompt AI that look at this issue and solve it for me. Is that the right prompting, or you will go something else? Can someone tell me? Let's say you have a data and there is some issue with it. What will you do? Like, will you prompt to AI that this is the data and there is something wrong with it, can you fix it? Or will you do something else?
We will ask for the AI, right?
What are you
Probably
going to
give
ask?
it a context. I don't know. Probably give it more context as to what is expected, why, what.
Yes, yes, exactly. Please, can you mute? Sorry. So,
No, when I'm talking, it's my baby beside me, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah,
okay. Okay, okay. No, no, I got you. So the same thing which I mentioned for developers, or someone asked that testing question with me, right? That how QA testers are expected. Uh, Same thing applies here. When you are doing an analysis, right? There will be some quality checks or things that you would want to. Let's say you're building you're given a report, you want to evaluate how my, and let's say, revenue is performing across different segments. So in your prompt you can define criteria, right? That check revenue across different segments, check revenue across year, check revenue across this, like those things. So rather than giving a simple prompt that analyze this, if you give it a structured prompt that no, follow these, like this is called chain of thought, that you give it the thought that I want to look at these things, and then check, expect those results will be better than from AI, rather than just simply giving a prompt that this is my data and fix it. Because you will not be in control, that you want to, as I mentioned, AI is there, I want to be in control of that. To be in control of that, you need to define the terms, and you need to check whether AI is following all those terms or not. Okay. So this is again, now for data scientists, I would say the roles split into two categories: either AI engineer. I already spoke about develop in the developer thing. For machine learning engineers, these are like, this is not the right session, I would say, but that is simply that they need to focus upon how these models are built, how to train models. Like that becomes a different field, which does not, which is in AI. I'm not saying that is not an AI, which, but it does not come into the this AI tools and all those things, because they go in the how of thing rather than why of thing. So I would say, but still they can automate a lot of tasks. So as I mentioned, that main thing that to focus in mind, you would have heard as well, AI is not now the question that will AI take my job? Very simple. If you ask a person who has not, who just watches Instagram reels, who just watches YouTube videos and form his opinion, they will say yes, AI will take your jobs. But you need to understand that this is the dynamics of jobs are changing, and if you plan it well, trust me, if you plan it well, you will be irreplaceable. So what you need to do, for, first of all, you need to understand AI is not, it does not replace job, it replaces task. That if you were just a coder who just let's say you do not care about architecture, that okay, something, just tell me what eventually what you need to do, I will code and give to you. That job, uh, sorry to say, that job will over the time will degrade, like degrade in the sense that number of jobs, such jobs will keep on reducing. But if you're a person who can think, who always ask why before doing the work, then you will always stay. Okay, so if you can control AI, that this is how it should perform, then of course you are always relevant. As I mentioned, that you would have, because of this AI in last 3 years, there have been more than 92 million jobs displaced, but there have been more than like around 170 million jobs created as well. Okay, so it's not that, and I'm talking in the IT field only. Yes, we hear layoffs. What happened that the moment we hear layoffs, we just relate it to, oh, because of AI they laid off. It's like it's just like saying they lost because they didn't play well. I mean, this is a very generic answer, right? You need to go in the roots of it. It's not that like AI is a robot and it is on a mission to finish humans. Okay, just give me 1 second, please. Yeah, guys, after this I'll give you time to speak, don't worry. I'm just yeah, so just few more minutes from my end. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that jobs are getting created, and not like these are standard numbers which you will find online, which you'll find in reports and all that, right? The main thing is that the type of work that you are doing, you have to ask yourself that am I doing a type of job, and especially I'm talking about in the IT field only right now, that is it something, how can I add more value to it, right? So you have to be a person, what has changed, if I have to summarize everything in one line, you cannot be just a person that who is like who has got a job, has got a work and is sitting chill, and that okay, I don't need to worry about anything, I know already. This is something called, you need to upskill yourself always. You all like in the way you do is will be different for everyone. Some people like to enroll courses, some people like to read, some people like to do something else, some people like to see what the other teams are doing. But eventually you cannot stay at the same place forever. You have to now keep on upskilling, you have to be aware of what things are coming, and you have to try them, test them, or see them and decide whether to use them, whether it is for me or not, right? So you need to have an eye now. So that is what has changed, I would say. Okay, so as I mentioned, will AI take developers' job? No. The boilerplate code generation, scaffolding new projects, and all those things will be displaced for sure. If not today, if not after 6 months, maybe after 2 years, for sure. But what skills will always be there? Your architecture decision, your system design knowledge, right? When you're talking to someone, can you explain things very well? So your how experience you have in actually shipping softwares in production, right? Those things are very very much important. I would say from a developer's point of view, from PM point of view, I would say still that how well he efficiently he manages these two endpoint developer and the business person, how good he is in strategy, how good he is in coming up with new ideas, right? How good he is in convincing more people. That is something a PM's job would be. Now, data analyst, the whole thing shifts now, that you are not just because of your good SQL, you will be just because of your business knowledge in whichever business you are working. It could be a financial analyst, could be a credit analyst, right? So try to become a special person and like a domain expert in that field. How good you are in evaluating problems, that is something you will be looked at. Just building dashboards, building SQL, those things, I'm not every job will away, but the quality, the number of those jobs will for sure reduce. And like so that is something. These are, I mean, some tasks are expected for you to do, but don't be a person who just do this thing. A person who always question. And a follow-up question, can someone can ask me that I'm just a junior, I'm not allowed to think this, right? But for that also there's a way which I will answer. But yeah, I mean, that is it. Any question, please, let's take that. Then I have one more presentation which I'll cover towards the end, but I want to take questions now, then we'll move forward.
Satvik,
Yeah,
can I go now?
yeah, please, you can go.
Yeah, Satvik, this is Ramya, and I have a question. You can, it's not a question, it's a request from me. You talked about AI replacing the task in a slide, and I would like to hear your views of that, relating it to the latest Anthropic's labor market research, the heat, the spider map. If you could, I guess you would have seen that graph, and if you could actually correlate that graph and present your insights in comparison with that particular slide, I would like to hear that view, and it would be helpful for everybody.
Support, you're talking about Anthropic.
Yeah, the Anthropic's latest labor market report that was published 2 weeks before. It was a spider graph that showed how much amount of work. Yeah, exactly this one.
This one. Okay.
Yeah, this
Uh,
the blue area is covering the areas that AI can do for a particular job family, and the red one is as of today what we are actually using for. The more
okay.
farther the graph is, and more farther, the more we are on that particular role, the more probability, the more chances for AI to take it up
So let's
is
try.
higher.
Let's see this. Yeah, I have seen this
Okay.
graph earlier. See, so yeah, I mean, it's a good thing for everyone to please see it. If you see this particular thing, these are different type of roles, right? Management, business, finance, computer math, right? And all that. The blue measures theoretical AI coverage, that what all things can be done. For example, right? Let's say I talk about uh, in education. Can I have every? Can AI generate the courses on its own? Can AI generate the content on its own? Right? In legal, giving legal advices, in architecture, engineering, computer software engineering, let's say AI can AI do, yeah, AI can do till this, but this is red shows where is it till now. So if you have to just now think like a symbol, critical thinking, the broader the gap. So first of all, like, before we even understand this, what do you think, like should this gap be bigger or smaller, this between red and blue?
Satvik, if you see that, like all the areas where blue is not covered, those are all physical tasks. Like if you see installation, production,
Yeah,
construction,
yeah,
sales, personal
yeah.
care. Yeah, so like those things won't be gone away even 50 years, because they are not
Yes.
affected by AI because it needs physical intervention. So other
Yeah.
markets which are covered, they're purely technical, or else mostly not physical and mostly used by the human
Yeah,
mind and
because AI
those.
will come for things that can be done digitally first, right? I mean, it cannot, as you mentioned, it cannot go and construct something for you. But now in management, what will happen? AI taking decisions about product, right? For or product or any kind of thing. Yes, if AI can generate code, don't you think AI can generate strategies as well? It can generate strategy. Like people always say that AI will replace coders. If AI can replace coders, it can replace product managers as well, because it will have all the analysis in the training data where it can generate insights, right? So this blue thing that you see, first of all, wherever blue is coming, it means those jobs have a possibility of getting hit by AI, right? So office admin task, sales task, management, and all these things have more they are more risky in terms of AI. But parallelly, what do you see? That red is where we are right now, observed AI coverage as of today. So if I talk about right now just from IT perspective, that data engineering, software engineering, or product management, and all those things, if you try to see the management, uh, it has red has not like it has reached till here. There is still a very big gap if you compare with just a computer like coding task, and all that, right? So there is still a very big gap. If I see computer and arc, yes, it is AI is moving towards it, and I expect it to move very faster. But if you again see architecture and engineering, so this is called as coding, computer and math, and this is called what I was talking about, engineering. And if you see, this is even like not even start, not even very close to come to finish it, right? So you can expect that this particular distance, AI is going to take a lot of time to do that, and I don't think it can completely do it. There are still decisions which need to be taken by humans, which need to rely on humans, right? So this is what my understanding is. Anyone want to speak about it? Yeah, please. So
Yes,
what I know.
I think the
Thing I
simple thing
need
is
to
that
add here, like for example, as we are discussing that it won't impact agriculture, it won't impact this you can say architecture engine. It could help, it could not impact, but it could diverse the way we are working. Like for
Yes.
civil work, for construction work, I spoke to my friend yesterday. We were discussing what how can it can be like AI can help in his task. So we discussed that the amount of cement, the amount of infrastructure material that has been caused, the bridge, you can say the capacity of the bridge, if it's on the you can on the verge of getting collapse, or the risk taking ability of the bridge. And apart from that, a structure which is about to fall, what's the various aspects where AI can help, like all those aspects. It's not taking the job, but it will help to
It is helping only, right? Like earlier, to get
uh,
those insights, you needed to have experience or study, right? Think like this. Experienced people would come up with better ideas. But nowadays, if you are even not experienced, if you can use AI well, you can still come up with ideas, right? So that is something. Yeah, someone was saying anything. Please. Yep. Sorry, someone was about to say something.
yes, Satvik, I
Yes.
was telling that before.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So before the red reaches to the top, I think we should do everything in the computer and engineering, then move on to the left side of the circle.
Yeah. So if you see this, now earlier, what earlier we used to think engineering is computer, like that's what, like engineering coding we used to relate together, right? But this is very evident, right, that computer and engineering are two different things. Coding and engineering are two different things, right? So this is what is, so you still have, if you see, still people all say that in 6 months you will lose jobs and all those things. They are not going to happen, right? I mean, there is still a big gap to cover. And I would say, and I'm very confident that this gap, given the way, I'll be very honest, given the way people have been vibe coding building solutions over last 1 year or something, there's a good technical debt which is going to come. And to resolve that, good architects, good thoughtful person, good engineers are definitely required. Definitely required. And I'm sorry, I'm only speaking about engineering, but I say same thing for analysts too. I say same thing for PMs as well. That there's a good, if you're a person who has a good ability to think, you have this gap. Yeah, please, someone, Deepankar. Yeah, please.
Yes, yes. Just wanted to call out one more thing. So, in manufacturing and space, so essentially, if we are talking about real estate constructions, and if we have a lot of machines which are involved, so lot many times now, what's happening? Like I have couple of people I know who have started their startups. Like as you know, 70% of the startups are focused on AI.
Yeah.
So, what they have done is they have started integrating the cameras and the IoTs with AI. So
Yeah.
essentially, what it will do is it will act as a protective mechanism for detecting if a certain worker is not wearing a protective gear. So AI can detect that. So basically, the scope of expansion of AI in manufacturing space is also, there is a huge scope of application, and that is what I wanted to highlight. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. There's a lot of fields which we are not aware, or maybe do not know all these fields, right? Like as you see, people say this thing that, especially in agriculture as well, like how you can. I mean, there's no talk about AI, software engineering in field of agriculture. Less people talk about it, right? There's a lot of things you can leverage there as well. If you just think AI as something like it can generate reports and all that, that is not the only scope of AI, right? It is about like these are different sections, works available in the market, and how, if you think you are saturating at one point of one place, you should start thinking at uh, other sectors as well. I would say, how can I apply the same principle in some other field, and like bring output which is 50 times than what it was earlier, right? So that again still comes up with your product vision, with your thoughtship, which is something AI cannot replace. That I'm still focusing. If you try to see, the overall message is same only, that use AI just as a tool, but have your own thinking. Yes, you can use AI to generate better thoughts, but eventually you should be the person who control it. Okay, so that is what my thought is about this report. But yeah, anyone, any other question?
I have a question. I am trying to aim for a different position, which is TPM position. But at the same time, probably what you told for product managers also it's same applicable over there. That critical thinking and those kind of things where you need to evaluate the data that you have at hand would still be
Yeah.
required even with the emergence of AI, isn't it?
Exactly.
Mm.
I'll give you a
Yeah.
very simple example. I gave uh, uh, an AI product manager interview, and they gave me a good case study that. Uh, so that case study was basically built on a ticketing system. That how would you go about it? And it was not a technical question. It was more of a product vision and architecture question only. And so they give those type of case studies, that how do you think about it, like which kind of concept will you apply, and like I mean, I can share that question. I don't have right now, but I will share with you. So yeah, the case, so
Thank
PM
you.
interviews, they are mainly known for giving you case scenarios and solve it, right? That will still be there, and I think that will become more relevant. Like if I have to interview as a product manager for my company or my team, I am going to I'm not going to impressed by how many fancy terms he explain or she explains. What I'll give her a scenario that, hey, this is what I'm planning to build this new AI feature, AI product, which let's say does this. What are your thoughts about it? Okay. Now if she just says that yeah, this is good, we can optimize, and blah 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 blah, right? Unless he or she is able to give me a holistic comparison, and is able to convince me that yeah, having this is and just convince me strategically, I won't be impressed with that person, right? So it becomes very imperative to have that skill of case study solving, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone, any other question?
Yeah, so again, same like what Amar has just pinged what I wanted to ask. So, like from like where do we start from? Like any like you have I saw earlier you have launched courses on RAGs and LLMs and AI agents and all that. But
Yeah.
like I'm not able to connect the dots. Like which one should I go for, and what is going to really?
I'll come to that. I have a I have a slide on AI literacy. Okay, I will cover that. What all topics are there? What all you should know? Then the last, the main question that see, it's not about like who score, like what topics to look for in any course. So I'll give you some course recommendation as well. Okay, so don't worry, I'll do. I
And
have that plan.
yeah, and also like another thing, like I'm seeing that every month or every 1 or 2 months, some new tool or some new agent, some new update is coming. And how do we keep updated with so fast changes coming in AI? I mean, the tools are also the new, and because what is happening, especially I was also going to ask about that DevOps and CI/CD thing, like what tools we use for DevOps and AI, CI/CD pipeline. So they are also some are getting outdated. Like Jenkins, I heard it is getting outdated. Many companies are still using it, but they are moving towards new things, is what I heard from a couple of ex-colleagues of mine. So
So
how do we keep updated?
very simple. DevOps, if I talk about Jenkins, yes, for DevOps, most people use GitHub Action these days, right? And they use something called as tools like. So there are a lot of tools, and no doubt. Have you heard about this Argo CD,
Yeah.
Mainly for
right?
Kubernetes deployment, yeah.
Yeah, so Argo CD is so mainly what you do, you deploy your applications in your cloud, Azure, AWS, wherever, and you orchestrate them through Argo CD. So this is something like I think most of the companies follow this standard. I would say the tools are coming. I'll cover that in AI literacy part. Don't worry. That how do you, like, you see so many tools? How do you decide which one to learn, which one to skip, and what is about it? Okay. So just keep this
Yeah,
question
and
with you.
also for future, you'll tell about future also, right? Like
I'll tell. So
what
just
do we
keep
see? Yeah,
those
yeah.
questions. Just keep those questions for you. I'm moving toward the last part of the section, PPT, right? AI literacy, and then please we'll discuss all these things, right? Because there's no one line answer for this. I need to explain you the whole scenario, then give you a suggestion on based on that. Okay. Then I'll give you options as well, which courses you can enroll, or to be honest, uh, yeah, I mean I'll give that opinion later. And this Excel, please read it. I will share with you. I have shared a lot of scenarios in this, so do read it, right? Like I care because of the time limitation and cannot go through each cell one by one. But please read it. I will share post the session. So and you can always reach out to me for discussion. Okay. So where is it? Uh, Sorry. Yeah. One is something called as I would say AI literacy. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that is there are a lot of terms that you see in market related to AI. Now, as I mentioned, everyone needs is doing a different job. So everyone should first of all, everyone should know those terms. I'll be very honest about it. Like MCP, agent, multi-agent orchestration, and all those things. Everyone should know what does it mean, but how much depth you should know, that differs role by role. That is what I'm going to cover in this. Okay. Now, first of all, there are some foundational concepts that you remember. To be a good in AI, you do not need to actually know how these deep learning models in the back end they work, and you can totally like what the biggest problem with people is what they do. They when they we have this habit as humans that we want to be in control of situation. So we think that okay, if I have to be perfect in AI, I should start learning statistics first, then I should start learning a little bit maths, then I should start learning machine learning, linear regression, and by the time you reach NLP, you have exhausted all of your energy, right? You should spend 80% of your energy in things that are valuable, that are going to help you at this moment in getting a job or upskilling you, right? So if you're just going, I'm not saying don't learn machine learning, don't learn mathematics or statistics, but like just to be good in AI, Gen AI, agentic AI, you don't need them. Okay, so never start from like that whole, like, get out of this mindset that okay, I have to know maths first, I have to know this first. Assume LLMs start with this basic knowledge, that what are LLMs are models which will reply me, which will basically return me a text, image, or whatever based on the prompt I give. So consider it as a black box right now. Don't worry about the engineering of the LLM right now. That is something, leave them to ML engineers, data scientists, right? They and especially those who are actually working in those fields. You do not need to worry about that, first of all. Okay, so uh, that is the first thing. You do not need to think from here, you need to think from out of this box, that you should directly know that what is an, this is some model which I will give text and it will give reply to me. If you see some LinkedIn posts where people are talking too much technical, skip them. I just skip them. I don't even, I know things, still I skip them, because my job right now is just to build AI system, build AI software, right? So if I get into that technical, if I like spend my time into that, that will be like I have limited time, I cannot focus much on there. The day I am working as a core ML engineer somewhere, then okay, I might want to know those things in detail as well, but right now I don't want to. Okay, second, LLMs, we all know they are nothing, they are simple, think like them as a black box which will return you text, and they will text, image, or whatever you chat with them. Okay, now these are the latest models, I think you all would have heard. So there's a, so in industry there are different, like you know open AI is there, there is Claude, there is like Google's Gemini, and Facebook's Llama, right? So claude claude has three family of models, that is Opus is there, what Haiku is there, and Sonnet is there. So three models are there. Opus is something which is used for which is for thinking. It thinks better. Sonnet is something which like writes better, codes better, and Haiku is better for your general task, right? So you can switch between those models. GPT, we all know, like 5.4 recently arrived, and Gemini also is there. Llama is also there. Now choosing the model totally, like how to choose which model depends upon your use case. All right, so you have to go, like I've covered a video on this, I'll share with you, it is on my YouTube, that how to choose the right model for yourself. Okay, if you go to data science YouTube channel, there's a video I put, that how do you decide which model to choose for your use case. So that is the first part. Now tokens, I hope you all know. Anyone who does not know what is token? Token are basically how these models break your words. So they take your words, they split them into small things. So those are called tokens. Okay. Now, when you chat with these models, right, what happens that you are charged based on two things: how many text you have given as input, and how much text is coming as output. So input plus output, guys, please mute if you're not speaking. uh, Input plus output, combine those tokens, that comes out to be the cost of that model. So it's not only think that what prompt I'm giving, it's also what text is coming out. So combining those things, you're basically you're charged for those particular things. So some models are fast, some models are slow, depending upon like what depending on their use case, I would say. So what you have to study is that, very simple, what type of task I'm doing, what type of, do I need a thinking model for this, do I need a coding model for this, do I need some other model for this. And if you guys, please mute if you're not speaking, I don't want to repeat again, please. So okay, okay, so what do you have to do? So just, I mean, do some research that which model is better for your use case. I have a video as well, or you can explore as well that part, right? Now very important part is context window. That just very simple thing, let's say I'm talking to you. Is it possible that I give you 100 books and ask you to read at once and come up with some answer? What will happen if I give you 100 books just to read at one go? You will get confused, right? You have a limit. So model also has a limit, that you cannot give uh, that is called context window, that you cannot give every model comes with different context window. Let, for example, uh, this Claude Opus comes up with 200k, now it has become 1 million token. So that context window is taken in terms of word tokens basically, right? So every model has its own context window. So you have to see that you do not overuse context window. And if a model is about to reach its context window, you can start a new session or maybe ask it to summarize previous results, something like that you can do to get the best use of AI. What happened a lot of time, you keep on chatting. The more time you chat with a model within a session, the output quality keeps on degrading after certain time. Okay, so that is something you need to know, context window. So see, I'm not going deep on these, but these are the terms that you should know. Like even if you're data analyst, you should know what is the context window of a model. Okay, so parameters, that how do you control output, like there's something called as top k, top p, and those things you can learn about them. Then how do you vary? There is something called as training a model and inferencing a model. Training a model is basically when you actually build an LLM from scratch, where you I would say doing all the training, everything on your own, right? Now the process itself is very costly. This is done by big AI labs such as Anthropic, OpenAI, Google. And second is inference. What they do, that they take a trained model which is trained by anyone else, and they just run them. So what do we do right now? Do we inference or do we train a model when we use ChatGPT?
Inference.
We do inferencing. Okay. So training is something, because it requires a lot of cost, we do not go with it. So now temperature and top K. Temperature is so in very simple terms, if you want, let's say you're writing a poem, you're writing a joke, you need to set temperature. The higher the temperature, the more random results will come, and that will become for those kind of outputs where, like in a joke, you don't want the same joke always. You want AI to be creative enough, right? So higher temperature means more creative answer. Low temperature means less creative answers. So can you tell me for which scenario you need a higher temperature and for which you need a low temperature?
For multiple analysis reports or something like that.
If you're asking it to generate a code, you want to keep the temperature lower,
Lower,
right?
yes. Yeah.
Because
For
you want to keep
creative
the syntax
content, like
for
marketing content, we need high temperature.
exactly for
High.
marketing content, you're generating better jokes, generating images, right? You need higher temperature for generating codes, static, and which should not change the factual things, right? There you want less temperature. Okay. So now, point is, so these are the basic terms that you should know. Everyone should know, irrespective of this. So this is what I call AI
Take
literacy.
one
That
quick question, Swatik, here. The temperature itself now, the latest model they removed, right?
they have not explicitly removed. They have like uh, changed the values or something. Like you cannot, like I cannot pass 1.5 to those models, something like that, and you have
No,
to.
earlier it was like that. I'm with you actually, but after 5.4 of ChatGPT or Open AI, all those things, they are clearly mentioned that temperature has been removed. See, last 2 weeks, yeah, last 2 weeks, I'm facing that one only.
Okay, we can look at it. I use, okay, might have been, but there must be some way to control. The main objective of
No,
temperature
it's
was
controlled by model now. They are not giving to us now. That's a change which we are
okay.
seeing now. Okay, but anyway,
Have they done to every model or any specific model?
OpenAI, most of things is it's removed actually. I'm
Okay.
not sure about Meta and all, but I tested this OpenAI as well as Anthropic in OpenAI. They removed this temperature flag itself.
Okay, okay. I'll check it. I'll check it. I mean, yeah. I mean, if they're there must. I need to see. I didn't read it, so I'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, still you will see temperature there for those. So the objective of temperature is just to be this. Okay. Now, point is that how do you connect AI to your work, right? So now another thing you need to know is API. Very simple. That API is nothing. Is just how you connect software systems. Like one, let's say you have one database, you have a SQL query, right? You are sending a request to a SQL database in the backend. What is that? That becomes eventually an API request to a database in the backend, right? So you should know what is an API. Earlier, if you didn't know, that was still fine, but people talk APIs very commonly these days. You don't need, if you don't know how to create API, that is totally fine, but you should know what is an API. A very good thing if you know how to test API in Postman. Like if you can have this skill, that much is more than enough. I'm talking especially about product manager, because PMs and data analysts, if you know this much, that is more than enough. You don't need to know beyond this, that how API has to be created. That is for developers. But if an API is given to you, a lot of time what happens that different teams, like their products, you can talk to their products using API, right? Now you don't want to go to a developer always. So what you can do, simply use Postman. And even if you don't know that, how can you, which thing can you help you in this? If you, let's say, do not know how to use an API, which thing will help you in this? ChatGPT, guys, come on, right? If you don't know how to use an API, what you do, simply take the API. You do not understand the content, just take it, put to ChatGPT, ask it, how do I run this API, and get the result. It will give you something, and just follow step by step. Okay, so that is, but you should know that an API, something like API exists, what does it do, and when to use it. At least this much you should know, I would say. Okay. Now, prompt engineering, no doubt, I think everyone should know prompt engineering as of today. So I think not stressing time on this. So there are different techniques of prompting, system like chain of thought, tree of thought, and lot of things. So do spend time on understanding how, like, what is the right way to construct good prompt. That is very, very important. Okay. Hallucination is when LLM gives you like a random replies which are not right or something. That is called hallucination. Embeddings, they are just like, very simple, that the machines understand numbers. So but how does, when you give a text to ChatGPT, how is it able to answer? So what does it do, that embeddings are the numerical representation of your text that computer can read, very in very simple terms. That how do machines and systems understand text? They convert text into something called as numbers. Those numbers are called as embeddings. So turning text into numbers so that you can capture the meaning. Okay, how it is done, that is separate. You do not need to worry, and you don't need to know in detail if you're not a developer, but still just know what is embedding. Okay, so that you understand, like let's say in a discussion, people are talking about, shall we use embedding approach, shall we use uh, text search approach, right? So you should have some thought about it, that okay, embedding is something that carries semantic meaning, text search is just for textual meaning, right? So which one is better for our use case? You should have that knowledge, I would say. A vector database is just like any database that stores these embeddings, because these embeddings cannot be stored in regular SQL database. So you use a database that is called a vector database. Okay, so this is something you should know, I would say. RAG is called retrieval augmented generation. This is something you should know, that how it is, what does it do, how does it work. So know about these terms. Okay, again, I'm not going into the deep right now because that will be out of context of the session. But then what is tool calling? What is a function calling? What is, guys, can you
ये आंटी अच्छा नहीं है दिल के लिए अच्छा नहीं होता
I'll start removing people if you, so please make sure if you're not speaking, please mute yourself. Okay. So now these terms, don't worry, you will have all these slides. I'm just telling you what all term this is. We're talking about illiteracy. These are the terms that you should know. Streaming, what is prompt caching, right? So now agent, what are AI agents? How do they work? You should know. Okay. What is the architecture that of an agent is? You give it a goal, it plans it, it acts on it, it observes, then it delivers. What do chatbot do? In chatbot, you just give a text, it replies your text. What does agent do? You give it a text which where some work is involved, right? So the agent will take out goal, do something. Now the question comes, how does it do? That is something engineers should focus on. But uh, others people should have idea, that some idea that how does it do. But still, main thing is to understand when to use agents, when to use normal chatbot. That is something you should know. MCP, very very important thing, that MCP is the new API, is the API for agentic systems, I would say. So just like you have API, you have, that is also there's a thing called MCP, which is just API for your agent system. So this is something you should know. A to A agent, how do agents communicate with each other? This is something is coming now. The most important, vibe coding, which we all know, we all do somewhere in the backend, right? So that is something. Now rest you can still skip. You don't need to know. Evaluation, this is very very important. And that how do you evaluate, they just like, for machine learning there is a way to evaluate the outputs. For GenAI system, agentic system, there's a separate set of evaluation techniques. There are a lot of frameworks. So this is something you should be focusing on, that as a data analyst. For a very simple, I'll give a task that I'll tell you that in my company, all our application, they generate logs, and those logs go to data analysts, right? Their job is to evaluate the performance, how well, is the agent, is the chatbot performing well, and on what parameters is it performing well. So they are expected to know evals. They are expected to know like how these systems work and how to evaluate their performance. So these are not done by engineers, these are done by analysts, or maybe product managers, business analysts, maybe from by those. So it becomes very imperative to know evaluation frameworks in this. Now I've spoken about a lot of terms. I just told you the term names. Now, what I'm coming to, I've created a matrix that, as per the rule, which all topics. So first, you should master. So what does by master I mean? You build it on it daily, like you actually do it hands on. What is something, even if you have a thorough understanding, that is fine. Some that is a working knowledge, functional knowledge. Let's say how does agent work? That is fine. And one something that, even if you're aware, if you know the basic, that is fine, because you do not know on a daily, you do not use it on a daily basis. But if you see it somewhere, you would have some idea that, yeah, this meant this. So you can basically do better search, that what exactly to be searched, right? So when I talk about from a developer engineer perspective, what is most important to master for them is about prompt engineering, RAG, agent, like building those things. uh, so for an engineer, I would say technically all of those things are required. Like, just apart from going into these AI ML deep hierarchy, even if you don't know, then that is totally fine. But building RAG systems, vector databases, embeddings, agents, APIs, like APIs, you should be very skillful at, because a lot of time AI engineering is just about connecting APIs, connecting dots, right, and doing those things. And so that is something you should be aware of. uh, Next, come to same developers, like, these are the things that you should master, something that you should but in my opinion, they should know everything, because they have to eventually build the systems. Okay, now coming to product managers, right? Now, very important, let's see what things you actually need to uh, master. I think I by mistake I put this. In my opinion, like, you what you need to focus upon is not about mastering something, but what should you should have, either working or functional knowledge. Let's say about context window, let's say about training inference, let's say about APIs. As I mentioned, PMs do not need to create APIs, but they should know that, okay, an API is something that does this, right? Function calling, they do not need to know, they're not expected to code function calling, but they should know that, okay, an agent is there which do function calling to different tools, and that's how it is able to get the answer, right? So these are the topics, I would say. Now coming to data analyst, uh, most things are, I would say, in terms of AI, it's more about uh, leveraging whatever is there. Even if you have working knowledge about most of the things, it's good. You should be good in prompt engineering, no doubt about it. Rest all, if even if you have working knowledge in AI, it is totally fine. Because you're not expected to build systems. Your objective is to use tools to improve your productivity. Okay, your objective is not to know that how can I build agent. You will never be expected to do that, but you'll be expected to, can you evaluate. So this is the agent, we see its output response, these are the chat sessions with it. Let's say we give you a chat transcription. of with an agent, something like that. We give you chat history with an agent and all that log. Can you come up with a good analysis on that? Or can you present some output which we are not seeing, right? That is something which is expected to know from you. Uh, Same with data scientists, a lot of things need to be in the master phase. But yeah, uh, that is there. I'm just thinking one more. As I mentioned, like you don't need to know everything. You need to see what is more applicable for your role and just do that. Okay. So as I'm again just summarizing my last line, for especially for data analysts, you would see hundreds of tools coming. Okay. uh, Hundreds of people talking about 100 things. You do not need to worry about that. A basic, I have told you what all terms you should know, but your eventually objective is that how you can leverage AI tools to speed up your analysis work, to come up with better insights quickly and with being more accurate. Okay. Yeah, please. I'm open to questions now, please.
I have one question, like for example, just on this data analysis part. So as this specific analysis, we will be able to do in a much faster way, or the time gets reduced. So, like, will the salaries get impacted because there will be less number of people working as DAs, and the time which was required previously is getting reduced now. So for the businesses, why they will, you can say, hire data analysis people when they are able to do it in 20 minutes, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
like that.
So that's what I'm saying. That yes, salaries will be impacted, no doubt about that. But that is why. So what? So there's no doubt about that. Salary won't be impacted. So the point is, what should we do? That like if I want to have a career, I mean, everyone cannot be developer, right? If everyone start becoming developer, that developer salary will also come down, right? So there is no so this is not a solution that can become a developer. The point is you have to become more, if as I mentioned, you have to become that critical thinker. You have to constantly push on something that uh, always come up with some new insight, always come up with some new idea, even if someone has not asked. Generally what happens, that you are given to run a report. So what type of roles will have less salaries? Okay, can you run this report on a weekly basis or a monthly basis? Or let's say you're someone who just runs reports on weekly, monthly or quarterly basis, and you just give to people, right? Those types of job definitely will be impacted in terms of salary or number of jobs. But what you should do then, you should focus on coming up with and this is something you need to push for, right? This is not and I would say this is a very gray area. That what I would do and what generally I do is that uh, I spend time in coming up with better insights, what I can do, and doing things out of my work, whatever I'm working on, just exploring things beyond my work and come up and pitch them. That's what I do, and that's what you also will need to do. That just you will not be just judged by that how much work has been given to you and you are just following them. You will need to come up with your insights, analysis, present them. Hey, that I observed this something in you, right? So eventually you have to bring this intuition in manager's mind that this guy, right, is something different. Like he sees things differently. He's able to have his own thoughts and present them. So that's how you become more important, and that's how you'll survive going ahead, I would say. So
Satvik,
you,
one more thing to add on in this, like for example, if I
Please
was
let me
being
know if
asked
I
to
can ask
create
one
a
question.
yeah, please let him ask, then you can ask. Yeah, please, you go ahead.
if I am being asked to create a report,
Yeah.
then if all the specific data analysis is done, and in the end all things are going to the production, whatever thing is done, then another guy in another team comes up with a better optimized solution for that with the help of AI. Okay,
Okay.
but the management isn't allowing the access, or other things, like they are not allowing the access to AI tools, not allowing the third party, you can say API or anything, to
Mhm.
constructively add on the AI in it. So how we should proceed in that case? Like we are still restricted in that use cases. Should we create anything on our end at an individual level and then showcase the things that you
Yes.
should provide us the access, and this is the way we can proceed further then.
This is exactly that you need to do. I'll be very honest that in my company also, what happened that uh, there were product managers. I'm giving a live example. What happened in my company that they wanted to see that like these AI tool access was given to only few developers only. But what they did that they went beyond it. They pushed management to give them a 2 week license and and experiment and show them output, right? And few of them really came up with a lot of better insights, and then they were granted access. So not everyone was granted access, but how they are treated, these people are treated as that, yeah, these people pushed what things were existing in the system. They went out of the box. They see, every company will be different. I'm not saying if you push you will get access tomorrow, but you have to fight for it, right? You need to have that vision first. Then you need to see what you can do to, if your team is totally like in a blocking mode that it is not allowing you, then it's a good time to move from that team. Like you should not stay in that team for a long, because good teams, they always like allow you to appreciate you using new tools to come up with new insights. Okay, so that's what I will recommend, and that is where that motivation of bringing new things should come from inside you rather than someone telling. So that's how you will be more productive, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wanted to ask one question, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm in the leadership side of stuff, and I keep on interacting with various members, the CTOs of the world.
Yep.
Now, generally, because my understanding is from the foundational and the classical AI, robotics, and the cognitive neuroscience school of thought. So that is
Yep.
how my career has been shaped, late 90s and early 2000s.
Yep.
Now, when we interact with CTOs, the three fundamental problem areas. One is they fail to understand the business side of tech, as in I think I asked this question earlier, which is what to put, how to put, and the mannerism of putting that. But I think the second part of the question is, uh, how do you sort of align with what they are saying? Because they learn new technology through the day, and come back to us in the night and say that there's another way to do it. There's another better way to do it, or let's do it this way. So it's too much of complicated input coming from the CTO, right?
Yep. Yep.
Wherein since they are on a very high trajectory of learning and deploying and experimenting and all that. So
Okay.
how does one eventually get a simplistic semantic framework from them that always speak in this language or, uh, you know, uh, I mean, the outcome has to come from the CTO in a manner which is decipherable for the leadership to take business calls. That's question number two.
Yep.
Question
Yep.
number three is also the fact that I'm actually implementing large scale AI in healthcare, some 500 hospitals. Right here, the complication is far more severe because both of us don't have domain expertise, as you were mentioning earlier in the session, right? So
Yep.
neither we are from the healthcare space, nor is the CTO, right? And then
Yep.
there is another dimension of AI which is opening up inside AI, inside healthcare, which is clinical AI, right? How do
Okay.
you solve these frontier technology problems from a combination of domain plus technology? Because what is clinical AI does not fit into space, right? Is an AI which is propulsion AI, correct?
Okay.
How do forward-looking leaders eventually address issues like this and get their teams on a common platform? I think that's a larger question.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So let's go. Let's break it into. Let's go one by one. First thing that you asked me was, CEO comes. Let's say CEO, CTO. They come up with some random, because just because they would have seen something, they would have spoken to something and say that why don't we do it this way, right? That was your question.
Yes, I mean, why don't you do it this way is just one part. I mean, if you come back to me 10 times and say, let's do this and that, and today something else, and something back in the evening. So we are stuck in the same loop. We are not able to define what is static, which is sustainable, and then what is that which is dynamic, which you can add on at a later point in time, right? So, I mean, Example, if you can just give this example, right? Let's say an LLM is here to stay, correct? And
Yeah.
that's the reason it's called a foundational. Now, on any given project, we need to arrive at something which is foundational. CTOs don't understand something which is foundational from the business perspective. That if
Yeah.
clients need to understand, example, if you're building a hospital OS, what should be the
Okay.
foundation for a hospital OS which should be sustainable for the next at least 3, 5, 7 years, right?
Yep. Yep.
So, so how do we eventually look at something which is foundational from a business case sense perspective, right? Wherein the CTO is able to understand that it has to go to the client, it has to build through it, it has to run years and years and years. He may be in the company, he may not be in the company. The tech platform may get obsolete.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how do I explain this, but I think that's what I'm trying to understand.
No, I get your question. See, there are two things, right? And this question also answers people who are asking. Let's say I see new tool every day. I open LinkedIn, right? And how do I get the perspective of like learning it, implementing inside my company? This question will somewhere answer this as well. So see, I understand it's a very there's no straightforward answer to this, that do this way it will. First of all, lot matters how is your company dynamics, right? Now what I mean by that is that in my company things are very systematic, very channelized in this way that, yeah, we all understand that there we have, let's say, three products, right, on which our company, which our company has. They are going to with a certain strategy. Not tomorrow, let's say, tomorrow a team come, someone says that, okay, this new technology has come, and someone is pushing that, why don't we implement that, right? There the role of like leaders like you or mm, come into play to have that vision of, let's say there is something, if I apply this, let's say I get a new technology, right? You have to evaluate it on multiple levels. First of all, what incremental benefit it is providing me, that what is something I'm able to do today, uh, and which is something which I'm not able to do today, and this particular method or tool is offering to me. Second, okay, I have some benefit with this. Now to do this benefit, to reach from X to Y, there is another level of effort from A to B which I need to do to actually implement in the system, right? And implementing this whole system into this, that effort, is it worth the benefit that are we getting? So is the hype is it just another hype, or is it actually beneficial, or is it actually no, this is worth taking into it, right? So this is where leaders like you, like in my company, my engineering manager, right, he is very good with this thing, that he also gets bombarded with a lot of those ideas. He says this to everyone, that I'm not going to build your AI solutions over the night. We will need to have a holistic evaluation of it, and I'm not going to take months doing that, but we need to have a process to onboard anything, and see whether we move very quickly with it, and or so lot of products in the company, they are in the experimental phase. Lot of products in the company, they are actually in the production which customers are using, right? So you need to evaluate it from that level. So this analysis, right, is very important, and one should have the eyes, especially the leaders should have the eyes to do that, and present to CEO. See, again, I'm not as experienced as you are, but I'm just telling from my experience that what I have seen, my management doing, my engineering man, what he does, and I'm answering from that perspective, that having that vision, and that is where your closeness with technology is very important. People who are working under you is very important, that how quickly you test something and you decide whether it's good or not, and you present it to CEO, right? So that is what I will recommend. Any question?
I think to an extent this is okay, but the problem is what the CTO's problem is something which the CTO has to solve, right? We are not here to solve his problem. Second is he can't be forever in the experimental state, right? So
But
I
I
understand and
agree, we
appreciate.
cannot be experimental, but think like this. That's where I said company dynamics also play a role. Think like this, that Do you want to be a company who changes its main product every other day? Yes, you can be. If you're a startup which is very dynamic moving, people can go about it. But if you're an MNC where things go slow, there you might have to have all those evaluations, right? So that's where
Yep.
team dynamics also play a lot of role, I would say. In an
Yeah.
MNC, you would not do that, but in a startup, you would do that, right? So I
Mm.
run my like I have my own website, right? That I can optimize. If I get some new idea, I can implement it in couple of hours, right? Because
Sure,
I'm not
get it,
answering,
get it.
right? So that matters in my opinion. But yeah,
Sure, sure. Thanks so much.
okay, okay. Anyone? Next other question.
Yeah, hi, Satvik. So that was a very good session. So you have uh, shown various technologies that we need to know based on a particular role. So where can we get the details about that particular technology? For example, if you told for prompt engineering, it's very we need to learn everything from the scratch. So where we can find good resources in learning those things and all. Could you-
Those I will share. I will share an Excel with you guys, right? So what I will do, I'll upload this recording on YouTube. Inside that, I will add an Excel about that. What are the right courses that you can do? See, now I'm coming to this one more thing that I wanted to tell. The way technology is moving, right? You cannot be aligned with just one course and thinking uh, that just because I did a course, I am safe. Because I'll tell you very honestly, last year, and it's not only about me, I'm talking about other creators as well, like I'm like who are even bigger creators, right? That I launched a course last year for AI engineering, 6 months. Started in April last year. We finished in October. Today most of that course is conceptually, that course is still right, but the coding part, there are so many things have been added in last 6 months that that course has become obsolete now, in the sense that just doing that course will not secure you everything. Okay, so first thing that you need to understand is that just doing a video course from a Udemy or let's say anywhere, right, is not enough today. You need to have this ability to read documentation, read internet, read whatever you can do. I mean, you can read Medium pages, you can read like articles, you can read LinkedIn posts, you can read the official documentation of those things. Like for example, what I do, I'll be very frank, right? Let's say I want to read about Cloud Code, right? So in Cloud Code, there are different ways how you can optimize it at output. Now, there's one way I can go to a YouTube and watch that video, but I don't know whether that information is as per current state or it is like it is past, right? So what I do generally, only refer to, I have this ability to go read the documentation. For example, let's say this code there, how you can run Cloud Code session from your mobile. Very simple. Now I don't need to watch some YouTube video for this. And this is how I have trained myself, that I read the documentation and from there only I'm able to I try to follow what is mentioned in their official docs. Similarly, for example, let's say people do not know about MCP. So what will I do? I'll simply go to this website that they have, Fast MCP. I will come there. I will read from their website that how things are there, how to build an MCP server or whatever, how to build an MCP client and all those things. I'll read from there and then I will implement it. Okay, and this is very very important because all the updates will happen here. uh, I'll take a very simple example again. I'm not naming any YouTuber. Like, still, there are a lot of people who launched Udemy courses and all that right last year, which were very good when they were launched. There was nothing wrong in them. But today, if you just go to watch those Udemy courses, you are not secured because so many things have arrived, right? So 3 months down the line, something else will arrive. So you need to have that ability to read articles, read the have the habit of reading official pages time to time to see what updates have come, so that you are always updated. This is something this is a major change. Earlier, if you have seen a course, let's say you have seen a course on DevOps, you're sorted for next 10 years. You don't need to watch again. But DevOps, but still, like DevOps is something still stable, but the thing like AI is not stable. So you need to like constantly, you cannot be like, I shut off my internet for 3 months and I 3 months back later when I come back, I am still the same. No. So this is something you need to build. Reading, I read Medium articles a lot. Like whoever has spoken to me, uh, I read them a lot, to be honest, right? So I go, what I do every day, I just open it and I scroll it, that I see, okay, this article, does it look interesting? Does it, do I know this? If it is something new, I will read it. Otherwise, I'll skip it. Or what I do, I just copy paste, I bookmark them and I save them for later, and I try to read them little later. But I ensure that I'm reading at least 5 to 6 articles a day, which actually catch my eyes. That way, I know what things are there, and few of them I try to implement on my own as well. So that is what something you should also do. That read them, at least study how they are working, so that you are updated, I would say.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like reading articles, like you get the updates, like what new is happening in what area. That
Yeah.
is fine. But my question is, once you read and you get that, yeah, this and this has changed or some update has happened in
Mhm.
LLM, this is new, or like in what agent, what is happening. But like
Yeah.
to implement it in your this thing, just reading like through this won't help, na? Means
Everything cannot be implemented, right? That is what I'm saying. That you'll read 100 things. Out of 100, only two things might be implemented in your use case. Think like this. You know what you're doing, right? I mean,
this is
very
like,
simple.
we are hitting, and this is like, it's like you're darting in the dark. I mean, and then two hits and like 50 misses and five hits,
No, no, no,
something
no.
like that.
There is a structured approach. Very simple. I am a developer. Very simple. Okay. I know. I always look for things, how I can improve my solution, how can I improve my code, and all that, right? So my eyes always catch up to those things that can help me. Now, let's say you are a QA tester, right? A new concept comes in, that, let's say, I would say, voice agents. Let's say you read this voice agent, something is there. Now you need to think, no one is coming here and launching a course for you. Very simple, right? This is a gap, that, so what you need to do, let's say you see something new, you need to think that, okay, voice agents are there. If I do QA testing for voice agent, what should I do? What parameters should I consider? And if I get on a project where I have to do QA analysis on this, what parameters will I consider? What are scenarios will I have? If you're still not getting it, put same thing, put in chat gpt, that this is my role, this is what I read. Is there a way I can implement it? Is there something? If you're not getting any idea, I'm just talking from that
Yeah,
angle,
got it, got it.
right? But still use it, like, read, don't blindly read it, but still use AI to get ideas, right? And then see which one makes sense. Everything will not make sense, but out of 100, even if you're able to capture 5 or 10, and which are boosting your productivity, it is a significant thing, rather than having course, right? Rather than like, because you cannot, this is not a time where you can keep on waiting. To record a course, even it takes months, and
Yeah.
in weeks only you see so many new
So
things,
many,
right?
yeah.
So that's why I also not launch AI courses, to be honest, like, because they get obsoleted after every time. I just launch workshops, right? So you also look for those places where people are teaching live, or people are teaching something new, right? That is something you can improve. But I'm saying, if you don't have that time as well, skip it. Read as much as you can, and use AI, that out of this, what things can I take, and what things I can flush down. Very simple. Okay, so here 100 things, but only keep 2 or 3 things which are relevant to you, I would say. So that's what I do. I look at things which can help me in my development work, which can help me in my company's work, right? So I saw a very simple idea. I'll give you a very simple idea. What I did, I saw Cloud Code, that Cloud Code launched, and Cloud Agent SDK. Okay, how I implemented this. This is Cloud Agent SDK. What does it do? Just like Cloud Code, you can have this syntax where agent can do things automatically for you. Okay, what I did, I took this idea, I took to ChatGPT, and I'm telling you an honest idea, that what I did. I asked it, how can I leverage this concept in my company? So they said that what you can do is you can do an automated feature development, that anyone just puts their Jira ticket, they connect, they pass their Jira story in this prompt, and build this agent in such a way that it should be able to complete the work and raise a PR. Okay,
Okay.
this was not mentioned anywhere, but I
Hmm.
used ChatGPT to get some idea, then brought my own thought, and I tried a POC on it. It worked. Then I
Hmm.
showed to my manager. He gave me an suggestions, and it's been 3 months now. That product is in production now, right? So that is
Okay.
something how you do. So two people will read this article, how you have to be different, that you need to see how you can implement in your work. So
Yeah.
that's how I will recommend.
Yeah.
And not everything you have to implement. So but yeah, that process of gap analysis, that needs to come from you, that okay, something like this is there, how can I leverage this? Okay. Yeah. Any other question, guys, please?
So, could you please share some resources about prompt engineering because it plays a key role, right, in everyone's job, like the way you're giving prompt to the.
I will share. Don't worry. I'll share. I have all the resources. I'll share with you. All.
Right.
I'll share this video on YouTube. In that you'll find all the resources. I have those resources in my system. I just need to upload them to a drive and give a link. So prompt engineering, all the major things that you need to know, I'll put there.
So
Yeah.
are you planning to start any fundamental course for this, right? Whatever the points you are telling that, right? As a AI who want to start the AI, right? So he should know the MCP and all the right RAG and all that. So
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
going to
So
start something?
I'll be launching an AI fundamental course, just a 2 week course only, not a very big course, where we'll cover
So
that.
at least, yeah, yeah. At least the person can then dig dive on more, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
niche
So that will
knowledge.
that will just cover. I will not teach you how to build MCP server, but I will teach you what is an MCP, how to use it. When you see somewhere that an MCP is written, how to go about it, right? That should
Correct.
you how to leverage it. So that is what I'm going to teach. So it will just be a 1 or 2 weeks course, right? And in that I will cover all these AI fundamentals.
Yeah.
So, do you now like recommend that we don't do go through Udemy courses, because any normal Udemy course will take like at least say 50 hours, or some are 25 hours, 75 hours. So we have to invest that much time in only watching the videos, and then implementing also,
Yes.
like hands-on also we have to do and see that what is happening for us to gain hands-on, right?
See, if you have to take my suggestion, right? And now someone like opinions might be different, but if I have to, I do not. If you ask me, I will say do not watch Udemy course. Build the habit of reading and implementing on your own. But there's a caveat to this, that everyone's experience is different, right? Now I have 10 years of experience. I have done things. So when I see some text, I'm able to implement very quickly. But let's say there is a fresher who is just starting from the college and who was not. So there's nothing wrong in watching Udemy. But what I'm trying to say is, Udemy or any video courses that you see is alone not sufficient for you to, that if you don't think like, just because I watched the Udemy course, I am settled for life now, or I'm settled for next 6 months, right? So you can still watch Udemy. Let's say you're not able to understand some concept, you're not like, you're reading but you're not getting. You can go to Udemy, YouTube, whatever, wherever you just see that, but implement that, right? And after that, build this habit of reading and implementing, right? If you can read and implement, then you don't need to watch any course, enroll any course, right? You're sorted for life. But if you're just starting, you can still watch. I'm not stopping you, but eventually you have to build this habit. This is where you need to reach. And this is what senior experienced people also do, this only, that they don't have time to, like, you might watch
Yeah.
a 70-hour course today,
Yeah.
but you won't, like, think like this, watching a 70-hour course, then applying those for another 70 hours. No one is doing all that. I know that, right? I've been teaching for all these times. No one watches recording. No one watches, actually does hands-on, right? So you have limited time. Think like this. Your attention time is very less these days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to put your first 80% in the right thing, from where you will get the maximum lift. So the maximum lift you will get from implementing things. So why not, instead of spending 70 hours or 20 hours on watching a video, right? I spend 3 hours reading a documentation, 2 hours implementing. If I'm failing, I can use ChatGPT, Claude to improve me. That the learning that you will get from that will be way more than watching any course,
Mm,
watching anything.
mm,
So I'm
mm.
straight away saying that, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not always even saying that enroll in my course or enroll in that course. If you have this ability, you don't need to watch any course. Like, I know whenever a new thing comes, I simply, people post this and that, I simply go to their official docs, I see how to implement, and then I'm sort. I understand. Then I realize that whenever it will come, I have to just come here and see this and then sort it. So that's where you'll get more confidence that okay, let anything come. I don't need to go and watch some course for that, right? I know it's
Got it.
documentation.
Mm.
I've prepared myself. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is where you have to head towards, I would say.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other question, guys?
Yes, I do have one question. See, there are a lot of tools available in the market and they are coming up as well. Now, AI comes with a data protection as well. Like,
Yeah.
we have a very strong DPDP Act now, and we have GDPR as well, being a European-based company. So, how to ensure the tool we are using it is taking care of data protection as well? How can we identify?
So what generally do you have to do is there are certain licenses that comes. So first of all, the tool that you have to let's say you watch any tool, right? That should have some kind of license, like like some for open source software, they should have MIT license, okay? And
Mhm.
for some other products, you need to read their policy. Can you give me an example of a tool? Let's say
Uh,
we can
uh,
get.
uh, uh, yeah, let's say it is Copilot. If we use it for free, it is open. If we use license, then yes. But it's also expensive as well.
Yeah. That's very simple. Now think like this. When you use ChatGPT, I'll tell you this very
Hmm.
simple example. Let's say you have
Mhm.
ChatGPT and you upload
Mhm.
your company's whole data on this. Okay.
Okay.
That
Mhm.
data AI uses for training. Okay. There are two ways.
Mhm.
You can off it, you can go to a log into your OpenAI account and you can, there's an option to select that turn off or AI training, something like on your data. That way, but still your data will be shared publicly. But when you use an
Yes.
enterprise license, they
Mhm.
same OpenAI model, when you're using an enterprise level, even if your SSN number is going into that, right, the data is protected, it lives inside your environment, that is never shared with to outside
So
party and
in
all
the public platform.
the
Okay.
public platform. So
Understood.
that is why, people use that. People say that why don't we use OpenAI ChatGPT API key just for my product? I say that you can do for your startup for basic ideas, right? But if you're talking about enterprise, you always need to purchase those enterprises license. That's why they come up at that cost, because they protect your data. All right, and in that scenario, you don't need to worry much about guardrails on and all those things, because your data is protected as per the license. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. And every license is different. Every terms and condition of every license. I can speak about OpenAI, Microsoft. That is how I used to think it other way. But when I saw that how actually those licenses work in the backend, that then we stopped putting guardrails on our data, because we know that is secured. I mean, we still keep guardrail, but we keep on very high impactful cases, but not for everything. So yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you. Yep. Anyone, any other question? Let me check chat. I didn't check chat for long. So,
But you said that Udemy courses are more valid. I do agree. There are a lot of long hours of watching, but there are
yeah.
some courses which give you the practical.
No, no. So see, I never said Udemy courses are not good. What I said is that
Okay.
relying on them completely
Yeah,
and
yeah, that
thinking that
is.
I'm sorted is not good.
Hmm.
I can recommend you. I have myself watched a lot of Udemy courses. I can recommend you them, and I'll share them in the list as well. I'm not saying that courses are bad, right? Or Udemy courses are bad. They are good. What I'm saying is different. I'm saying watch them, but you still need to practice, and you still
Right.
need to remember that. Don't stop that just because I watched some AI course. I'm sorted. That's what I'm
Correct.
saying.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Thanks.
So,
Thanks.
yeah. A very simple example. If you have watched fast, let's say this thing called Fast API. If you have learned Fast API through a Udemy course, you're sorted. You don't need to worry about it, because Fast API releases very less upgrades, and like those upgrades are not much required into your coding. But in terms of agentic, every day new things
Mm,
are coming,
correct.
which replaces previous. So
Yeah.
a very simple thing, this LangChain page, right? This LangChain page has totally changed so much in last 6 months. So and your implementation also changes. So that is something you need to be aware of. So if you go and watch on Udemy courses, my course that I launched last year was based on LangChain's previous documentation. Now, if someone watches that course, he'll understand the concept, but the coding that I'm doing, which is incorrect, it is not as per today's. So, right. So, will you go watch course again? No. You have to build the ability to come to the documentation. Okay, this is how LangChain works. I'll come here. Let's say this is, where is it? Yeah, I'll come to LangChain. I will read their page documentation one by one. I'll read how they write the code, and then I will implement it. Or I
But
can use an, yeah, yeah, please.
But in the market, right, what the trend is there, right? No need to learn anything, right? You have a agents, right? No coding,
Yeah,
right?
so
Just
I'm telling you
prompt.
another way. You do not, what you generally do, what like if you want, see,
Right,
we use
my
AI to
picture.
generate codes. We use AI to generate code, right? There's a way. Now, AI is not trained on this latest data. What you do, this whole data can be converted to an MCP server or a skills, which you will store in your repository. You will come and you will store in your repository as an MCP server so that your code base is always connected with this page. Whenever a change happens, your code base will automatically know, and AI will update the codes automatically with that. So that those are the techniques that you need to learn to always have the updated code that is on the market, and like pages.
So
So
you mean to say that I need to learn the LangChain and all that, right? But why should we learn, right? We give the prompt and it will use that and generate the code, right?
you need to learn LangChain if you're a developer. You don't need to learn LangChain if you're a product manager or a data analyst,
Oh,
because you need to know as well how functions are working. Very simple. Let's say this is a request. Okay, where did it go? Anyways, let's say I come here, quick start. This says that okay, run this function and you will get an agent. Okay, this is a very simple, basic, most basic code to create an agent. Now,
correct.
for a data analyst, this much is enough. He should know, okay, I should just run this code, it will give me. For a developer, things are different. Okay, how is this actually breaking? What if I want to do something? What if I want to store memory? What if I want to do like multi-agent orchestration? What if I want to break my problems further? Like a lot of things, right? So how do you break this? That is something a developer should know. So a developer should have the ability to debug. Like eventually you download this code, go what check what is the base code and how things are working. So that's why for developer that is important, and for analyst or a PM, knowing langchain is not important. Got it? Okay, and any other question, guys? No question? You guys are done with the session? How to read the release notes, like the new changes done and the consequences of that. So see, release notes generally, like they come here. If you see in this page, they have given themselves the any good documentation, they themselves have this change log, and there you can see that they have provided what changes we have done and what are its impact. So this is something from where you can learn, read, and then you can again, if you don't understand, give to ChatGPT or Claude to understand and then implement it. That's what I do generally. Every documentation has this page, this change log. That's what I read it from there. What are some good courses you were talking about to recommend? So, uh,
Can you share
see,
the Udemy course to start actually something,
yeah, yeah,
right?
don't worry. By end of day, I'll share a list of basic Udemy courses that you can take. Start today only, and get fundamentals cleared. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What are the things subscription one should get? Assume I want to start building an agent. Uh, okay. See, now this is a good question. Which are subscriptions one should have? Um See, now everyone's financial situation is different. Okay, so but still I will try to my best to answer. I You definitely need a subscription of ChatGPT for sure, because there are a lot of things you can do with it in premium subscription. It costs $20 a month or $21 a month. Okay, Claude, again, Claude comes with three subscription: a $20 a month, $100 a month, and $200 a month. I have the $200 a month one, but you don't. But because I use it a lot for other projects, that's why I have it. If you specifically use for vibe coding, remember that it is expensive, so you can share with someone, I would say, or if your company is providing, use that. NA10. Now, let me tell you, generally what happens if you use NA10, you go here, you'll have to buy a subscription, and it has a pricing of, I think, $20 a month, something like that. If you don't want that, what you can do for a lot of these services, if you are just into learning mode, don't buy subscription. I don't buy them. What I do, simply go. do this na10, and this is for other things as well. Na10 Docker image. Okay, you'll get the official image of Docker na10. You can simply put in Docker and run locally, and you can do all your projects and all that into that. You won't even need to pay for anything, and you can use it as much as you want. And similarly, there are a lot of services which provide their Docker image. And they provide Docker image just to, so that you can explore that as a product and you can launch it as your own service. Now, to launch that, you will have to pay, but if you're just for learning purpose, I generally go with this method. Whatever Docker image is available, I use that. I don't pay for subscription. But still, if you want, you can take n10. But if you just want to learn n10, you don't need to buy subscription. Just use this Docker image if you can. And if you still don't know how to use it, simply go ask ChatGPT, I want to run Docker locally. Tell me the steps, right? And just give it the link, and it will straight away give you all the steps. The download Docker from this, verify, write down this command, use this command, then create an image, run the container, and it will start running. That's what I do. So that's what I will recommend to you guys as well. Okay, so apart from this, I don't think you need any subscription. Like there's a if you're a PM, you can take this Gamma subscription to generate PPT, but Claude also generates very good PPTs. So I don't think you need any other subscription. Everything is based on your need. I would say so. Just a ChatGPT or a Claude subscription is more than enough, in my opinion. You don't need anything else. Yeah, so as a student, that's why I mentioned use Docker. Learn, if you cannot pay, then simply learn how to use Docker. Then you can spin up for your learning purpose.
Also, like I have a suggestion. So now since AI and all those agents and everything is coming, can we also means can you also consider like conducting some mock interviews, like in general, what mostly are asked, so that only exclusively that session, if we can have any time when you can have it, so that will be helpful for everyone. How to face those interview questions? I mean, what you have faced, or maybe if any other one are facing mostly asked interview questions.
I can conduct session as well. If you go on YouTube, there is a video, roadmap to AI engineering 2025, which on my channel, there is an Excel of most updated interview questions that I have faced or my students have faced. So it's an Excel of around 250 questions across different categories for product manager, for RAG and all that thing, right? So I'll re-upload that below this video as well. So questions you can get from there, and those are the questions that actually were faced, right? I can conduct sessions as well, but like I mean, for interview, rather than me telling, right, I mean, if someone can volunteer for a mock interview with me, he can volunteer, others can watch, right? And if someone volunteers, we can have a mock interview and we can launch that as a recording on YouTube, something like that. Okay, so
I'm
that
happy
will,
to actually offer as a volunteer.
yeah, please, you can text me, then we can have that recording, right? So that will be great. So
Yeah, likewise.
yeah, sure, you guys can reach out to me. I'm already looking for people who are interested in that. We can do that, and
But
so LLM
can
you
I
can
ask
run
one
locally.
question?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
I'm actually looking for to understand how do we guys actually improve our productivity using AI and create those agents where we can schedule all of whatever we are trying to do across businesses and across those verticals, right? And so how do we build our agents? How do we build our agentic architecture? If that is what the question.
So you mean by your personal agents or for your company you're asking?
No, personal agent, because there are so many things in life, right?
Personal
Across.
agent, there are two ways I'll recommend. Best for what I have seen. One way is use Cloud Code. What Cloud Code does, it creates agents for you and it schedules for you. Okay, so let me show you this. This thing called as Cloud Code Schedule. Okay, so what you can do, not only prompts, you can run agents on schedule as well. You can simply give it a prompt that I want to create, let's say a very simple thing. I will say that uh, I want an agent that runs every morning, 7 a.m., extracts uh, top 5 financial news of the day and email me in a well formatted Excel. Okay. Let's say give I'm right on, just there are multiple ways, but one way is very simple way. Everyone can prompt, right? So use this way, and this Claude can do, OpenAI can also do for you. So give to it. So it will automatically create an agent for you. And when you ask, it will help you in scheduling as well. And it will ask some details of you where you can connect, like your email address and all those things. So we will see it building live only. And this is how you can create personal agents, and you can track them inside your Cloud Code subscription. But for that, just to make sure, have $100 subscription of Claude so that it runs better. Otherwise, with $20 subscription, it's not like it will break because of the limit.
I
So
use
buy.
the GPT subscription, please.
Yeah, you can use GPT subscription. GPT is there. It can also create, or you can also use, this is something called as Langsmith uh, Agent Builder. Okay. So what does it do? That wait a second. Try Langsmith. Okay, so this is something, my it has my agent builder. So you can give it a task, create an agent that does this, and you can schedule it from here as well. So it helps you create workspace agents and all that. But after, like, suppose you have this template, LinkedIn recruiter, email assistant, and all, some are pre-templates which you can directly run from there. And another one is N10, which we just spoke. Have you used N10? So
No,
let
no, I haven't.
so you can use N10. So I'll just show you that if you don't want to use Cloud Code as well, where did it go? So I would recommend you to start with N10 then. If you so what so let me tell you what it does. So this is an application which I created. Okay, so what does it do? This workflow that I created, whenever I upload a file to my Google Drive, what does it do? It stores into an AWS, or it just stores there, and it my chatbot is able to answer it. So think like this: I have a chatbot which answers my document, right? I can keep on updating my document from the backend. I don't want to come and code again and again, right? So what this workflow is there? I just need to click on publish, right? I just need to give it some name. And once you publish, right now it will not work because I have removed my API connection from the backend. But I'm just telling you, create a workflow just by dragging and dropping that whatever you want to do, and you click on publish, it will become live automatically. So you don't need to do anything else. So this is, so one way is use Cloud Code. Let's see what did it do so far. It is still working, but or you can use N10. So I would recommend, if you're just starting, go with N10. That is the best way, because this way you will realize as well that how things are working. But if you still feel this is little complicated, use Cloud Code. It can do everything for you.
Sure,
So
thanks.
I'm talking about personal agents right now. If you want to know.
Exactly. Sure, thanks.
Okay.
Satvik, I have a question. In case
Yeah.
if I'm getting a $20 NI10 subscription, I am wondering, will I be able to, do I need LLM subscription, and also
Yes, yes.
for
So
memory
twenty
and for
dollars, $20 you're just paying to N10. Remember, N10 will collect to different models, databases, and all that. You
uh-huh.
need to pay for them as well. So $20 is just for N10.
Okay.
So
So is there any some free subscriptions or something that you could recommend to begin with for LLM memory and for
yeah,
vector
yeah. What
database
what
and
I
all that?
Very simple. I'll suggest. Suppose you want a very basic LLM for free, you go to this website called as Grok. Okay, and from here, what you can do is you will get models which are free. There will be limitation. For example, I have built my this website, right? This is my website. I have practice questions, a lot of things there. I've connected them to LLM. So I'm not paying, I'm not using any paid subscription or something. So I have connected them to Grok model only, because right now users are very less on my website. So Yeah, if you come here my practice labs, by the way, this is for data analysts, like those who are practicing SQL analytics, they can come to this website and check out. So if you come like in SQL practicing and all that, I have connected to LLM here. If you see, AI help is there, and if you're not able to help, chatbot will answer. So I use Grok here. What it does, that you can get API keys for all the models that you want, and you can get access to these models like llama models, open ais, open source models, which were like a lot of models which you can use for free. That is one thing. And suppose parallel you want free vector database as well, so what you can do is have them, remember as I mentioned, don't don't go to their cloud hosted, have their docker image. For example, you want pinecone docker image. Let's say pinecone is a vector database, so you can simply uh, get its pinecone is there. Yeah, where did it go? MCP pinecone docker. So pinecone is there. Or if you want, let's say, fast vector DB, this is free of cost. You just need to download them in your computer and you can use them. So that's how you will be like you can use things for free, I would say, because you just want to do for learning, right? So similarly, there are a lot of things like for table. What you can do is, I would say, there is Supabase where you can use database for free up to a limit. Like I think you can spin up 1 DB as much as you can. So that is something you can use through Supabase. If you still want more, go to Azure GCP. They provide first 30 like free, like $200 free, which you can leverage for learning. So those things can be done. So as long as you're doing things for learning, there are ways to get things for free. But if you plan to launch a product of your own, then you have to pay. Is it clear?
Yeah, thank you, Satvik.
Okay. Any other question? I'm just checking. Free
I
coding
also
area.
have Yeah, I also
Yeah.
have one more question. Just in case if we get access to so many of these tools and interfaces through our work, what would be the best approach for us to maybe like strategically use it for our own personal development?
Which tool you're talking about?
Anything like maybe like I have access to N8N at my work and I'm building some agents there and I have access to all of these LLMs that's been super fast in terms of like Claude and all those things and everything is there. But the problem is like I cannot take any code from there and I cannot use it for my personal use or something. So since I
Why,
have access to all of
why,
these things,
why you cannot take code from there?
it might be some governance issue or something.
Okay, so those are given by company. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, like we have access in the company and there's so many tools that is being given by for us to use. So I am just wondering if what is the best way for me to use those things and learn some knowledge and then kind of like
As long
implement
as
that
you're
locally.
keeping inside the company's system. So very simple. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
also in my company cloud code and all those. I like my company has given me access to almost everything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're keeping things, like I can use things for learning. I can use things for anything as long as I'm not taking data out of my office laptop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm sorted. But if you want to use for learning, I think no one is stopping you with that. Like even if uh, big compliance companies also, though no one says that what to search, so I don't think you need to worry about that. But still, if you want to write so that is the first thing, right? I don't recommend taking out data from company laptop because every company's policy is different. You might get escalated as well, so don't ever do that, in my opinion. Third way is this only, that like if you think for personal, like see, my personal use is very different from like I teach, I launch courses, right? So I need the premium subscription of these tools because I need to create a lot of content in very quick time, and a lot of things are there. But if in a personal case, if you are doing only for learning, use these free like you can use free tiers as well, or I can recommend you, there are few people who Like they sell things for very less, right? You can buy from them for personal use case. Like those things you can try. I think that is enough for you.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And tool will not change, right? Like tool will still remain same. That's what I recommended. If you feel your use is less, take a very small version of ChatGPT. Like don't buy the premium one. Uh, if you think you need to do a project on latest things, use their Docker image. Don't use their cloud service. Cloud services are costly. So use the
Mhm.
Docker image. Have like learn that skill to spin up Docker image locally and start using services. That's what I do. So that's what you can also do, I would say.
Okay, and also one more question, Satvik. If I'm like maybe like I'm participating in any conference or any hackathon or something, and I want to demo something, some of the
Yeah.
agents that I have built, and what would be where can I kind of like host my demo?
So what I recommend is suppose you created something like an agent or a project, right?
Mhm.
So there are two. You create what you do. So everything is a front end and a back end. I'm just telling a very quick way to do this thing. For back end, just go to this website render. Okay, what you have to do? You uh, sign in with your GitHub, for example.
Mhm.
Okay, and you just need to see I recently deployed all this. Simply it will be connected with your GitHub. You click on a new web service, connect with your GitHub. Let's say this is there, and just in one click you will be able to deploy this. This is for backend. Okay, and for front end same thing. Go to this Vercel. Okay, Vercel is for front end. So you can simply go here. Like I deployed a website only. I think I'm not sure if it is. Yeah, so I deployed this for. So I have a RAG course going on where we were discussing RAG strategies and all that. So I created a UI for that and I just deployed it on Vercel, right? So it is working there. So this is the quickest way to do this, I would say. If you want to
Okay.
learn the whole, if you don't want to go through all Docker, Kubernetes scaling, right? Just use these. Create your GitHub repositories and just use them directly. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wish to chat with you, Satvik. If you can give me 15 minutes after this
Yes.
session, please.
Sorry, hello, I didn't get.
I wish to chat with you sometime, maybe 15 minutes after a session, whenever you are free.
Yeah, sure, sure. Please text me. We can chat then.
Yeah, sure.
Anyone, any
Thank
other
you.
question? If I missed, please let me know. Otherwise, we are good to drop. I will upload the sesh video. I keep on launching workshops and courses. You don't need to join everything. Whatever you feel relevant, you can join. But I will also share other courses as well, which you can enroll. Okay. So, but yeah, make sure to build the habit of learning documentation and implementing, I would say. So, okay. So I think everyone is good. Thanks again, guys, for joining. Uh, I'll upload everything, and I'll if you have a idea for if you want any particular type of session, do let me know that as well. Because in this session, I didn't go technical in anything, right? My idea was to just give you the reality check, right? But we can go the technical way as well. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day. And we'll meet in some next session.